It is Friday night in Phoenix, and you're listening and watching the Absolute Geek Podcast, the premier geek content podcast in the Phoenix metropolitan area and all around the world. If you're listening to anyone else, what the hell are you doing with your life? This is where we are.
You know what?
Yeah,
it's true.
Corbin.
You know, as much
matters.
as things change and you guys from going to Couch Crunchers to Absolute Geek, things stay the same with Lance and his shitty internet.
Am I fucking up now?
You're fucking pixelated. You can barely hear you. You're all kinds of messed up.
Oh my gosh, dude! It's like
I hear you in my heart.
Hey, Aaron.
I hear you in your heart. Hey, you're driving. Get the hell off of this show until you're home. What's up, Stick Boy? What's going on, buddy? Glad to see Stick Boy in the house tonight. Glad to see everyone as they roll in here. What up, Kyle? Kyle's in the house. What's going on, guys? How's life treating you guys? You guys back from your honeymoon? Your little honeymoon you guys were on last week? Your hetero life mate honeymoon?
Oh, yeah, man, we're back. It was fun. We went and saw some bands that we really like. It was a great time.
It's good.
Yeah, I've been listening to those bands pretty much all week. I don't know what kind of music are you into, Matt. What do you like?
I like a little bit of everything. Not so much country. Some country better.
Cop out answer.
Alternative class. I like a lot of classic rock. I was a huge Blink 182 fan back in the day.
There we go. Blink 182. That's what I'm talking
Still
about.
listen to Blink 182.
Yeah, man. Blink's awesome.
You know, so
yeah,
funny story about that.
Oh, go ahead. Tell us.
Oh no, I've told this story before. Like, as a Simple Plan, as an angsty teenager, like mad at my dad, we got a fight, and I printed off lyrics to a Simple Plan song and put them on my door for him to see. And to this day, he's always like, that Linkin Park song, and I was like, it wasn't Linkin Park. So,
oh, that's funny.
I like Styx too. Styx is a good band.
Yeah, Styx.
And anyone who says they're not are just cynical assholes.
Sticks and stones.
That's right. I see we lost Lance already, huh?
Yeah.
This show just got infinitely better.
Yeah, dude, we saw Hawthorne Heights and Bayside and Census Fail. It was awesome. It was a great show.
Was Zach Morris there and Kelly Kapowski?
I don't think I get the joke.
Bayside, Saved by the Bell.
Oh,
I'll just see myself out here because I'm apparently the boomer in this.
I watched Saved by the Bell, but I don't remember anything from that really.
Good God. Screech, Dustin Diamond. See myself out, I guess.
Dude, so Hawthorne Heights, though, they were cool. You mentioned the Simple Plan thing, and that's what made me think of Hawthorne Heights.
Kyle says garbage bands.
Well, he's wrong. Hawthorne Heights, they're more of like a screamo band. And he got up there, and the first thing he said is, guys, I want you to go home tonight, and you can tell your parents. And I'm like, where are you going with this? We're all in our 30s. What are we going to tell our parents for? And he's like, tell all your parents that emo is not a phase. And I was like, that was awesome. And he just got up there, and like, it was just entertaining. It was funny. And their music was great. Super fun. Yeah, Kyle says exactly, screamo garbage. Well, Kyle, you're just old and you don't have taste. I love screamo, man. It's so good.
Yes, screamo garbage. Erin's mad because she's missing Maroon 5 tonight because she didn't want to go because of COVID.
Yeah, I get it.
The big scary.
I will admit I'm pretty lax with COVID, but like, I'm vaccinated. We went to this show, but I was like, holy crap, that was weird. Like going to the movie at theaters, not that big a deal comparatively. But this was like, oh, wow, it's 2019 again. It feels like people were crowded in together. It was packed. There was definitely no social distancing, no limited capacity. It was just, I loved it. Thought it was a lot of fun. But like, even for me, who's pretty lax as it, in regards to COVID, I was like, wow, I might be a little uncomfortable here.
She's just a little bit more cautious. Like she's vaccinated too, but she's just a little more cautious about it because she's pregnant.
No, I get it.
So
Totally.
she's like, I'm not gonna do that. So
I get it. Totally valid point. Also, Aaron, I like you calling out your man in the chat here and saying, "What? I can't listen when I'm in the car."
she can listen. She just shouldn't be in the chat because she's texting and driving. Then
I agree. That's fair.
Lawbreaker.
Maybe it's red lighting. Maybe she's red light chatting.
Legal. God damn. No, but yeah. So otherwise, things for me have just been business as usual. That's a lot of red lights on the freeway there, darling. I'm trying to wait for Lance to get back, but apparently he decided not to come back.
That's all good.
But
in the meantime, we can tell people that they should be hitting that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the podcast. If you're listening to us on podcast services, go to YouTube, give us a subscribe. We're try to hit a goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you're not listening live, please come join us live. It's a good time. Friday night, 7:30 Mountain Standard Time.
Yes. And if you're listening to us right now and you need to dip out when we talk Titans or Doom Patrol or Venom, you can catch us on the replay on any of your podcasting locations, iTunes, Stitcher, everywhere. Pretty much Amazon Music. Pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast, you can find us. So,
yes, sir. Well, I don't think Lance is showing up today, so I think we should just get into it.
That's all right. Let's do it. We should just send it in a link to Kyle.
There you go. We'll get Aaron in here to chat.
Oh God. All right, let's get into a little bit geek news. What do we got?
Oh, what do we got
on the docket?
We got something I'm real excited about.
The Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, man. It's officially got a release date, 12/29/2021. They said it was going to be coming in 2021, and no lies detected. No lies detected, but by the skin of their freaking teeth. But you know what? This is what I expected. I feel like they set the expectation of like Christmas of 2021 or something like that. So I was kind of expecting something like this. So yeah, we're going to get our first episode of the Book of Boba Fett, a show that I never expected to get announced last year at the season finale of Mandalorian season 2. But yeah, dude, I'm stoked about it.
We have to wait until, the very end of the year for it, but
yeah. Well, it's just crazy because it's been a bit of a I shouldn't even say a drought year, because in the past we didn't get Star Wars every year. We didn't get constant Star Wars stuff. But like Marvel has just been releasing so much content this year that it feels like Star Wars has been just kind of silent. Even though they did have the Bad Batch, but
well, I mean, you had Mandalorian.
Yeah, but that was
last year. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It ended December, I think, of last year. So it's been light. And as a Star Wars fan, I'm just stoked to see more.
Stick Boy says Star Wars misses the holiday season buyer rush once again. That's true.
Yeah, 2021, they've been keeping their Disney Plus subscriptions going with Marvel.
Yeah.
But next year, Star Wars is going to be lit again. I mean, we're going to get the first episode of this in 2021, but then every other episode of the show is going to be in 2022.
I'm as excited about this as you are, because like I love Mando. Mando's such a good show, and I've gotten so accustomed to like getting new Mando, and you're getting all these new characters that were in Rebels and all that. I don't know if right now is the right time to go back and revisit Boba Fett and all that stuff. Like I feel like unless Mando season 3 is going to be hard hitting and it's going to be that palate, this is that palate cleanser, but I'm not ready for all this back. I want to see the new stuff. I don't really need to see Kenobi and, him being a creeper staring at Luke from binoculars on.
Dude, Kenobi, I'm so excited for.
And I don't need to go back to the more Darth Vader stuff. I want to move forward. I want to see, Kanan. I want to see Thrawn. I want to see all this new content that Rebels and Clone Wars introduced into this universe live in action. I don't want to go back to my dad's Star Wars. You want your Star Wars, man. You want to move forward with all this new stuff.
See, well,
I don't
that's
need
what's
Kenobi
interesting.
and
Because to me,
Boba Fett.
Kenobi is my Star Wars. Boba Fett, I can argue that like that's a generation before me because I wasn't alive when the originals came out. But Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ian McGregor, that was me. Like that's my era. And so I'm super down to see Ian McGregor take on the role again. So, and that one in particular, but like the Andor series, I'm excited for that. That's supposed to be next year. We've got the Ahsoka series. I don't know when that's coming. I think that's probably going to be
I'm super stoked for.
Which one?
Wren and Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, yeah.
Getting to get Thrawn and Sabine Wren and, more, hopefully Ezra, more goodness, Kanan, more goodness from Rebels and Clone Wars and hopefully all that good stuff.
Kanan's dead, so I don't know if we're going to get more from him, but I guess you can get Force Ghost or something. Also, it's sci-fi fantasy. Anything could happen. You can bring people back from the dead.
I would love to have like an Old Republic series and just see stuff that have only been touched on in books and not done on live action yet.
Well, I agree. Like if I could have my pick, I wouldn't have ever picked for a Boba Fett show. But for me, I'm just excited to see more Star Wars. If I could have my pick, I want Old Republic. That's all I want to see. Because we haven't explored that. Well, Mando too, but like, see, Mando's good because it's an era that we hadn't really explored. It's that between 6 and 7 time period. And it's kind of fun to explore between 3 and 4, but I feel like even that era has been explored a good amount already. That's why I wanted the Old Republic so bad. I'm like, can we just get an Old Republic stuff? Like the game being remade is exciting. I would love to see, whatever it can be, which I'm saying this and I'm like, I have one of those High Republic books. I really need to read that because that's like, I think 200 years before the original, the prequels. So yeah, like there is content out there, but it's books, it's not the same thing as TV shows and movies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so like, they give you badass Luke Skywalker. Like you're used to seeing Luke like being like this whiny little bitch. And then you get badass Luke Skywalker at the end of Mando season 3 or season 2. And now you got to wait 2 years till Mando season 3.
Do we? I mean,
badass Luke Skywalker.
When is season 3 coming out?
Well, it's already been almost a year, right? So we're going to get Book of Boba Fett on the 29th of December, the very end of 2021.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they've started shooting the 3rd season of Mando yet.
I thought Mando season
when that's coming out.
I thought Mando season 3 was supposed to be coming in early 2022. So, I was thinking these were like going to be back to back, but I've
heard that they're going to be back to back, but then I've also heard that you're getting the Book of Boba Fett and then you're going to get Mando in later next year. So you're still got a good buffer of time before you get both shows, so
yeah,
I just don't know. To me, I'm not a huge Boba Fett fan. Like, I know a lot of people are, but Boba Fett is like kind of whatever to me, and I don't need to see how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, and I don't need to see all that stuff. I'm ready to just get into like the good Star Wars stuff.
It is refreshing to hear you say that, because every time I say I don't dislike Boba Fett, but I'm not hot on him, some Star Wars fan, and it's like, if you say you don't believe in Tinkerbell dies or a fairy dies. I feel like a Star Wars fan dies every time I say I don't love Boba Fett. He's not that interesting of a character. He's really not.
I think that's a way that you can suss out like real Star Wars fans versus people who just say they're Star Wars fans for the narrative. Because you can say, oh, well, I like Boba Fett, but if people are like, oh man, how do you not like Boba Fett? I love Boba Fett. Blah, 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 blah. Then you're kind of like, all right, easy there, killer. Like, where are you coming from,
Yeah, it depends, because like I've always been a Star Wars fan, but it was about 10 years ago at my prior job. My boss is a huge Star Wars fan, and his favorite character is Boba Fett. And my boss at that job definitely is a real Star Wars fan, and that's his favorite character. But like he got me into reading the books, and so I've read dozens of Star Wars books because of him. And like I went from Lord of the Rings being my favorite to like Lord of the Rings being my second favorite, but pretty far down from Star Wars. Like, so I don't know. So Styx is saying season 3 of Mando started filming this week, so earliest is the end of next year.
Now too, so
not necessarily. Just because they're filming now doesn't mean it's going to be a year and a half or 15 months before we get it. I don't know. It is probably going to be a while though. So
I think it will because
maybe it'll
they
be a
don't
year
like
from
to
now.
compete with Marvel stuff. It seems like so. Like it looks like you're gonna have that lull. You're gonna get that lull of. So you're gonna have Star Wars and so you're gonna have Hawkeye in November, which looks like that's gonna bleed into Boba Fett in December, which is probably gonna bleed into Miss Marvel in January, February, and then
And is it She-Hulk next year and Moon Knight next year as well?
Moon Knight, and so you're probably gonna get a good stretch of Marvels and Bad Batch season 2 if they do that, and wherever that goes. Like,
has Bad Batch 2 season 2 been announced?
Bad Batch 2 season 2. I don't know.
I don't know if
I think you need to pump up your mic, dude. You're very, very low.
How's that?
That's better, much better.
Cool. Sorry, I had my settings for recording music, so I was trying to figure that out earlier. But
Stick Boy says, "Remember the Marvel series have been delayed and crammed into the schedule with their other series." Exactly. So
yeah, all the 2020 stuff got moved to 2021. That's why it's been so jam packed this year. But I've loved it. I've loved that I constantly have something to watch. It's fun to look forward to new things. Like right now, Titans is exciting me, and so every Thursday, what do I have to watch? Titans. And I know we're going to talk about it later, but What If actually excited me this week. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'm looking forward
finally
to Wednesday.
finally.
Yeah. Yeah.
now I'm actually looking forward to a What If episode. It's a strange feeling.
Right? Yeah, it is a little bit weird. Well, on that note, should we move on to talk about something else?
Kyle's calling you out. He wants to know, do you even know Spider-Man? He said, excuses, Lance. Oh, it was set to record music, blah, blah, blah. Do you even know Spider-Man?
What is he talking about? Did I miss something?
No, I have no idea what he's talking about either.
I know exactly. I know what he's talking about. He's talking about your Facebook post today about Venom, where you're like, I know Spider-Man, and this isn't.
If I had to say I knew any superhero, Spider-Man would be the top of my list.
You and everybody else in the nerd fandom.
But that's just what I grew up on and stuff. So and we'll get into Venom, but sneak peek, it was awful.
Kyle said nailed it. So yeah, it came out today that the blood feud between the Mouse House and Scarlett Johansson has come to an end, where they've come to an agreement on her lawsuit following her suing them for a mass amount of money for Black Widow going to Disney Plus. There's been no terms released on this agreement, but both sides have come out and said that they are they're happy that they can continue their working relationship, and she's going to continue on and take up her role in the upcoming, I think it's Haunted Mansion, isn't it? Or
I think
they're making another Haunted Mansion. The Eddie Murphy
remember
one
it's Haunted Mansion or Tower. It might be Tower of
Tower of
Terror.
Terror.
I can't remember.
It's Tower of
It's
Terror.
Tower of Terror. That makes more. Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah,
So,
which I didn't know she was going to be in that, and I'm just like, why?
What I don't understand is why are they making a Tower of Terror movie a couple years after they shut down that ride in Disneyland?
Why are you flipping off our audience?
I'm not. It's two fingers.
It looks like it's just one.
Yeah.
It's still, hey man, Disney World still.
No.
Tower of Terror is still running strong.
The only reason it's still in Disney World is because Orlando has the rights on the East Coast for Marvel characters.
Up at Haunted Mansion.
Universal.
So Universal does, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. We spent entirely too long on this last time we talked about it, and we ruffled some feathers. At the end of the day, I'm glad that it seems like it's an amicable.
QAnon.
Yeah, that was the QAnon thing that we joke about. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad that it seems like
we knew it was going to
happy.
I think everyone knew it was going to be settled out of court. Everyone knew.
Well,
they would
what's
come to
50
a
million? What's 50 million to Disney?
Right, exactly. And so that's only rumored though. That's what the rumor is, that she got was a 50 million agreement, but Kyle says she's burnt. Yeah.
So does that mean Lake Bell is not going to be voicing Black Widow in the next season of What If?
Probably not,
because now Scarlett's back in the fold.
Well, Scarlett, Like all of that stuff would have been recorded before this debacle. Scarlett
Yeah.
Johansson could have easily done the voice. I just don't think.
Oh,
they
I
wanted to
know,
share.
but who knows what the agreement was? Maybe it's
40
we'll pay you
million,
this
50
money,
or
but
million, either way, it's pocket change to Disney. They're just like, all right,
which is
whatever.
why I'm surprised they even like came out with that.
They came out with some heat too when they were like, "We're in a pandemic, people are
She's tone
dying.
deaf.
How dare you
Yeah.
complain about $40 million when people are dying of COVID?" And it's just like,
Well, and on that
somebody in
episode,
PR lost their job.
Well, and on that episode where we talked about this, we kind of agreed with Disney, and then we recorded it, and I was like, maybe that was not the right call.
Well, I still agree with Disney because at the end of the day, it's their movie. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. If they want to take a steaming pile of shit on it and serve it on a plate, they can do that. Like, they paid the money to make it. You know, I guess it just depends on, her contract, how she's gonna get paid and all. But
yeah,
relatively, at the end of the day, like, they can do whatever they want with their movie. If they wanted to go right to Disney Plus, they can do that. Like,
see, I don't think they can though.
I think they can. It's just a matter of how she's gonna get paid. If they're like, oh, well, we're going to give you this X amount, we're going to give you what your contract states, but it's still going to go to Disney Plus, who cares? And I think,
I agree. If you're going to get paid what you were going to get paid no matter what, why do you care?
Moving forward,
you got
this
these
is going to be
directors that care, like Nolan and then it's
Villeneuve. But moving forward,
she was a producer on Black Widow, so it's a little. She's not just a straight performer, she was also a producer.
Yeah, and she gets kickbacks for how well it performs.
Well, let's be honest though.
Go ahead.
If this movie produces, and look, Shang-Chi is killing it in box office. Venom just broke the box office for the pandemic numbers. If this movie performed in the second week, does she go through with this lawsuit? Do we have this issue? Are we even talking about this? I don't think so. I think it's the fact that this movie died in week 2 because after the word got out about what it was, and everyone's like, okay, it doesn't offer anything new. That was the end of it.
Wasn't that the same thing we got with Captain Marvel? Didn't offer anything new. I mean,
I think Captain Marvel offered more new than Black Widow.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It at least offered a new character. I mean, well, that's like, so let's be real. Black Widow did offer like something cool. Florence Pugh as White Widow was pretty darn awesome, and Red Guardian was really fun. Like, but overall, it was just kind of a dud. But I feel like we've talked ad nauseum about that already on the show.
Yeah, let's move on.
I'm down to talk about an actually good what if.
Oh, it wasn't just good. It was like really good. But then, so we're gonna get into spoilers on this, right?
Yeah, sounds fine.
Yeah, so jump off.
All I ask is, because Stick Boy has already said it, make sure that when we go to Venom, we let people know we're going to do spoilers to give them time to check out.
We'll go non-spoiler for the first little while, and then we'll give a spoiler warning when we start getting into.
I don't think you can go non-spoiler in that movie because it's fucking garbage. But anyways,
it's Carnage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on. Yeah.
Let there be garbage.
So, like, I think I've been higher on What If than either of you two. Like, I think I've liked it more than you guys. But even I admit that it's been pretty hit and miss, a lot of the episodes. And the last 2, I wasn't really into much at all. So it was pretty exciting to log into Disney Plus this week, watch this episode, and be like,
all right, hold on. Because Stick Boy just said this in the chat. I don't mean to cut you off. If you're listening on this playback or in the chat right now, we are going to spoil What If. If you've not watched What If episode 8 yet, turn off now. Come back in a little bit when we're done. But yeah,
Harry Potter fights Ultron, and Gandalf and Picard help save the day.
You son of a bitch.
So here's the thing with these shows, they're less than 30 minutes each of these episodes, right? It's hard to talk about these without spoiling it, because what could you actually say? Oh yeah, Ultron does some cool shit and this guy does some cool shit, and then that's the end of it. It's hard. It's hard to talk about these without spoiling them. And Venom is the same way. I mean, it's pretty short, and you pretty much get everything out of the trailer. So I mean, except for a couple things. But What If, I would have a hard time talking about this episode without spoiling it.
Kyle says, "What if is garbage?"
You're absolutely correct. Not this week though.
Well, I mean,
Not this week. I do have to admit, not this week.
This week, the Watcher finally did something other than being Uncle Creepy.
Instead of being a peeping Tom, dude. Like,
Yeah, that's literally.
And
like,
he's a badass.
And I like how Ultron made the joke about that too. Whereas like you're doing something other than watch, that's a little bit creepy in its own right. Like that you just watch people. So
so like this one was cool, man. We had this post-apocalyptic world where Ultron. What was the what if? Was it just what if Ultron had won?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and so then we got to see him. It was a little weird to see him in the Vision suit, but it makes sense because that's what his whole goal was. In the original movie was to get into
like
the Vision body, but like it was cool to see this post-apocalyptic world. All you have left is basically Natasha and Clint, and they're trying to save the world. Which it's funny that those are the only two left. The non-superpowered ones are the ones left. But I still thought it was kind of cool to see them in
Hawkeye's
there.
a fucking quitter. That's all I'm gonna say. Clint Barton is a quitter.
Black Widow and Hawkeye were kind of badasses in the beginning of this episode, like more so than we've seen in anything else.
They were throughout the episode.
They were the last standing. They were protectors of the free world. Like
what world? There really wasn't much left.
Yeah, but I mean, it like all those things, like the what the fuck is his name? The Hydra guy. What's his name?
The Nazi robot doctor.
Yeah, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but like going and finding them, like none of that stuff would have happened.
It's not Zemo. I can't remember.
It's not Baron Zemo, no.
No, it's not Baron Zemo.
No, I know.
I don't remember what his name is, but like they were kind of like they were so forgettable in all the Avengers movies that to kind of have them as the last two standing in this
Zola
kind of
Arnim Zola.
Yeah.
So to kind of have them the last two standing in this was kind of cool. And then Hawkeye, Clint having his bionic arm or whatever you call it, a la Winter Soldier. That was kind of cool too.
Yeah, that was cool. I forgot about that actually.
My favorite part in this whole episode was when Thanos shows up and Ultron's just like,
bring this up.
Boop!
That's the reference. That's my name, right?
Yeah.
Here. Why didn't he do that in Infinity War?
Yeah.
If all he had to do was kind of just, Cyclops him, like what the? Why didn't he could have just saved a whole lot of suffering just by doing that? Just slice and dice, baby. Slap chop it.
It's true, but instead he got his fucking shit pushed in. But what are you gonna do?
What I like is that it kind of called back to the other episode. I think the three of us kind of enjoyed was the Dark Doctor Strange episode, right? We all kind of liked that. Like it wasn't.
I love that one.
It wasn't groundbreaking, but it was. As far as this show is concerned, it was a higher point.
It gave you more of a change as far as like the what if aspect of this show versus every other episode.
Yeah, it was multiverse shattering. That's what it was.
I mean, Party Boy Thor. Are we kidding?
Oh, that was bad.
Like, but what were you gonna say? What were you saying, Lance?
No, you pretty much covered it. There's not much to say about this show. It's like, who the fuck cares?
It
like,
really
there
actually
doing.
But, like this episode was cool because you finally get to see like someone challenge the Watcher. You get to see the Watcher stand toe to toe with someone who's Infinity Stoned out and hold his own
and hold
you
their own.
You got to see him activate the Watcher armor. Like you're finally getting to see him get involved where he's kind of got to assemble his own team where you can imagine he's going to go and take the evil Doctor Strange and bring in Captain Carter and bring in Peter Parker and bring in Party Boy Thor and kind of reassemble this team to fight Ultron from the different multiverses.
I really don't need Party Boy Thor again.
You're going to get him though.
Or friggin' Jane Foster in an abusive relationship, essentially. Like I don't need any of that, dude.
You're gonna get it, and you're gonna like it. Like it a lot.
Yeah, I hope this next episode just ties up all those loose ends. I was reading an article the other day about how they were saying that these episodes were all planned to be longer, but the pandemic shortened them. That's why a lot of them are cliffhangers. And I'm like, well, why did you release it then? Because that zombie episode pissed me off. It just ended. Like there was no resolution.
And it was zombie Thanos.
Yeah, but we don't even get to see like they end it on the coolest part of that whole show, and we don't even.
That's
get
what
to
pissed
see
you off with that zombie episode. The fact that these things are zombies and they're still able to control their tech and use their weapons and do all that doesn't piss you off.
Well,
but it's the fact that it ends on a cliffhanger.
It's a cartoon, so I kind of let some of those things go.
Okay.
It's a cartoon.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There's certain things that live action as opposed to cartoons. There's certain things that can stretch the veil of reality a little bit. But
fair enough.
I don't know. The zombie episode was the one I was looking forward to because I remember reading the Deadpool zombie comics where he goes and kills a bunch of people and stuff, and I loved those, and I was kind of hoping for something like that. Not Deadpool, but something along those same lines. You mean
like Marvel Zombies?
Yeah.
That you could go and download and read right now?
Yeah, but it would have been cool to see it on the screen, like, play out and stuff. I mean...
You saw it.
I saw a little piece of it.
They got to keep that steak ready for season 2, Hope for season 2.
I really hope. Is it confirmed that there's a season 2, or is it just
I'm sure there's gonna be? There's too many loose ends. Even for Marvel, there's too many loose ends that they need to tie up that you're gonna get a season 2.
I just can't imagine that they're getting the same kind of viewership numbers that they're getting from Loki and.
I'm sure they're not. Yeah, I don't imagine they're getting the same viewership, but I'm sure it's popular. It's got Marvel attached to it. It's going to be, it's going to get those numbers. But this episode was cool. I mean, we saw President Steve Rogers. That was a fun little glimpse of that. We saw Ultron basically going around destroying the multiverse.
If Steve Rogers ran for president, I would vote for him. For sure.
He's a fictional character, Lance.
Fuck you, Matt. Fuck you. I'm just saying, dude, a fictional character like that is better than all the hot garbage.
Fictional character.
So, I don't know.
Oh, no.
I was watching. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was about to say something political. I was about to talk about Jon Stewart's new show, and I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, let's not do that, QAnon. All right.
I forgot what show this was for a second.
Yeah, this isn't Couch Crunchers.
This isn't Lance's Q corner.
Yeah.
I'm watching Jon Stewart's show, and you pulled a QAnon card.
This isn't the QAnon Crusaders, all right? You just need to dial it back there.
Also, you said this isn't Couch Crunchers. I don't think we talked about politics like ever on Couch Crunchers.
We tried very hard to stay out of that controversial realm.
That's not the point of this. We're here to just talk about dumb stuff.
Yeah, What If was good. I say watch Doctor Strange, then watch this episode and throw the rest in the dumpster. And then watch
it was definitely the what if scenario I've been looking for with this show. This is definitely the most what if episode of what if we've gotten. I like that he challenged the Watcher. I like that the Watcher held his own. I like that the ramifications for the multiverse are ever growing, and he's got to assemble a team to try and prevent Ultron from wiping out the rest of the multiverse. And I like how, in this episode, he went to planets that we haven't seen for a long time, since probably Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. So, like, my only thing is, like, Ego is the living planet, man. Like, and he just wipes out Ego with, like nobody's business. Like, you think that they put up a little bit more of a fight. You think, like, the Nova Force could put up a little bit more of a fight. But, because of, like, Robot Arm Hawkeye and Black Widow are putting up this tremendous fight against all these Ultron robots. The Nova Corps couldn't put up any kind of fight. Like, I like how Miss Marvel wasn't even a match for him. And this is like the second time Miss Marvel's kind of been like this trump card for them. Like, she just flies in and fights whoever, like, the
got
big
beat
strong
this time.
baddie is. Yeah. But
which was nice because that's my one gripe with Captain Marvel is just doesn't seem like she has a weakness besides a barber, you know.
damn.
So
I like
Only
her
weakness is
haircut.
that stupid ass haircut.
that's the Karen haircut.
It is the Karen haircut. It's true.
right.
But the comic book character looks awesome with that haircut. It just doesn't
Yeah.
translate as well to Endgame. Anyway,
Well, I said a few seconds ago, throw the rest of them in the dumpster. I did like the Star-Lord episode, but I liked it less than what it gave me and more as like Chadwick Boseman's like last.
I think that's the one that gets a
Starring.
pass from everyone because it's Chadwick Boseman in his last major Marvel role. It gets the death pass, and that's why everyone liked it so much. If you go back and you watch it for what it is, it's not that great of an episode because it's not that much different. You're just swapping two people. That's it.
no, it was
Yep.
way more different. I
don't think so.
completely disagree with you. Thanos is a good guy.
Well,
Like-
okay, that part, yes, but I'm just saying, like, the overall story wasn't much different. Like, you could have done all that with Peter. The whole fact that T'Challa is there doesn't really make it change anything.
Anywho, this episode was it was entertaining, and the watcher, like to see him scared, like you could see, oh wow, this is actually going to impact me. Now maybe I'll intervene. He's watched all these awful things happen and not done anything because that's his like one rule. But can you answer me this? Who does the Watcher report to in the comics?
Nobody.
No one.
Nobody. And I thought there was more than one Watcher. I thought they were the
There
Watchers.
there's multiple Watchers, yes.
Okay. So they're just their own thing.
Wasn't there a rumor for a long time that Stan Lee was a Watcher?
That's one of the
Yeah,
rumors
that's
that
one
go
of the
that all of his
theories.
cameos, he's considered a Watcher, yes.
And then
Even what was it, Guardians? He's sitting with all the Watchers, sitting there
Yeah.
telling them stories.
Yeah.
So
I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 2 basically confirmed it.
yeah. But
That's one Watcher gone. We can't lose another.
I've got a package here for Tony Stank.
yeah.
I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Thumbs up to
I
this
agree.
What If.
It only took 8 episodes, but finally.
And we only have one left. Now
No,
we
I
got
think
to
there's
taste
2
for
left.
it.
I think I give a thumbs up to like
Really?
half of these.
Yeah, I think there's 2 left.
I think there's only one left. It's only 9 episodes.
Are you sure? Because I thought I saw two more. Thought it was 10 episodes.
That'd be cool. I don't know.
Look, I might
Dude,
be wrong, but I thought
what
I
I
read
love-
that it was 10
I
episodes.
looked it up after this week. I'm pretty sure. How many episodes of What If Marvel? Let's see. So there's only 8, but that's how many there are. How many episodes of What If are there?
My favorite part, dude, was the fight scene between Ultron and the Watcher, where it
Yeah,
looked
9.
so anime, dude. Like the Watcher looked like Goku, dude. Like he was putting these beams out of his hands and stuff. Like it looks straight from like an
Yeah.
anime show.
Speaking of anime, dude, Star Wars Visions is pretty legit. It's actually kind of cool.
I haven't watched it.
I've watched like half of it this week. It's pretty cool.
I didn't
But-
even understand what it was when I saw the picture of it. I was like, wait, what? I thought it was like behind the scenes of like how they came up with shit.
Nah, it's
I didn't
just a
even
bunch
realize
of
it was a
like,
cartoon.
it's just a bunch of anime takes of Star Wars. I thought it was going to be terrible, and I've actually really been enjoying it. So yeah, no, it is 9 episodes. That's all we're going to get.
Okay, so one more.
Yeah. Should we move on to our next topic?
Let's do it.
Lead the way,
Wait.
Matt. I don't know what this one is.
Suicide Squad. Will Smith wants to take another shot at playing Deadshot in a sequel to the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. He said he would come back and take another spin at Deadshot. Are you guys for this, against this? Do you want to see more Will Smith Deadshot?
man. I'm in. He was like one of the best things about the original movie.
I think there's too much confusion between Bloodsport and Deadshot now. Like, they're pretty much the same power, they're the same skill set.
The Bloodsport was meant to replace Deadshot, like, and I
Yeah.
just don't see the two of them cohabitating in the same
Coexisting.
movie. Yeah, like I just don't.
Well,
And I really
if you
did-
think of it, you're gonna have 3 people with the same power set. You're gonna have Peacemaker, Bloodsport or Bloodshot or whatever the fuck his name is in Deadshot. Like three soldiers that are deadly accurate. Might as well just throw Connor Hawk in there or Hawkeye or Green Arrow and call it a day. Make everyone just massive marksmen.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Will Smith's ship has sailed.
I do too.
They wanted him. They wanted him for the second one, if I'm not mistaken, right? They wanted him to reprise his role.
I'm not sure, but I know he was one of the few things that people actually liked about the original. Him and Harley Quinn. That was what people usually
because
said.
He had a story. He had substance. You felt for him because of his daughter. Like he had a reason. He had a means to an end, and not everyone else in that did. You know,
just like Idris Elba. I mean, he was doing it all because of his daughter and all this other stuff.
It is basically.
I gotta admit, though, he was not my favorite part of that movie. Will Smith. My favorite part of that movie was Diablo.
Yeah,
I loved Diablo. And when they killed him, I was like, "What the? You just took my favorite part of this movie away. Now this movie sucks."
Diablo was cool. Diablo had a lot of heart.
Like Cara Delevingne as the villain, like that was just awful.
She was so bad.
They're just like tearing things away from you.
Yep. They said, "Hey, look at this character you really love." That would have been
they
like
tore away a good story too. They took a good.
Yeah,
story
Diablo was an interesting story, but that's like King Shark was one of everybody's favorite from this new movie. If they would have killed King Shark in the middle of the movie, I would have shut it off, dude.
He's blown. Like if you haven't watched in a comic book shop lately, man, he has blown the fuck up since this movie. King Shark has blown up. He's everywhere. He's got his own solo series, comic book series now.
Because he was hilarious.
He has blown up.
But that's not usually how King Shark is from the other renditions I've seen of him. And so I love that James Gunn just is like, I'm going to make this guy an absolute doofus. And it was great.
Well, I love him in the Harley Quinn cartoon. Who voices him? It's not Lil Rev. I don't remember who it is, but
you just reminded me I'm behind on that.
Every time he is that out now?
No, I just haven't watched season 1 or 2 yet.
Oh yeah, I've
only watched a part of season 1.
But he's like easily one of the funniest parts in the Harley Quinn cartoon series. So I think he's just a likable character. And he's completely different.
Ron Funches.
Oh yeah, dude. If you ever seen his, like, he has a really like sweet, like mild mannered. He's a stand-up comedian, but he's like sweet, mild mannered voice to him, and it's just how he says things. It's just it's hilarious, dude. I love it.
Ron Funches.
But I'm thumbs down for Will Smith coming back. I think that's just too much.
I don't think we need him to come back again.
Nothing against him.
You can want all you want. It just doesn't work. I think you leave all aspects of that previous Suicide Squad movie where it belongs, dead and buried and forgotten.
Because they don't revisit really anything from the first one except Harley Quinn is back and Rick Flag is
Boomerang.
back, right? And Boomerang. Well, and he dies within the first like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You know.
So
that I don't know. I just think it's too many of the same character. Like Bloodsport was there to replace Deadshot. So I mean, what do you do with both? What's next?
Lance is like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this.
Last Ronin, number 5. I talked about this last week while you guys weren't here. How Last Ronin has quickly become one of the best turtle stories around. It's extremely popular. If you're on the resale market, people are looking for these books like crazy. But issue 5 has been delayed until late February of 2022. There have been, for some reason, this book has been one that's been coming out quarterly, but it keeps getting pushed further and further and further. So because issue 4 just came out last week, issue 5 got pushed till 2022. So it's going to take an entire year. I want to say almost a year and a half for this book to finally, this story,
is this the conclusion?
Years in the making. Yes, this will be the final issue. this story that's been, well, it's probably been about a year, but a year for this story that's 5 issues and
That's
been
a
a year,
lot.
years in the making to finally come out.
Is each issue like a rather large issue, like more
Yeah,
so
they're
than
oversized issues. They're square bound issues. It's kind of like a little trade each one. But it's like this is like the epitome of like the hype coaster, because everyone was talking all about it. You got the first issue, then you had to wait 3 months for the second one, and then 4 months for the third one, and then 4 months for the fourth one, and now 4 months for the fifth one. And so like it rides this wave of excitement. Like people were stoked about it, got the first issue, then it cooled off, and then stoked, cooled off, stoked, and cooled off. So it's kind of hard to keep the hype train for this going. But this book is highly sought after. The series is highly sought after in the secondary market. People are looking to buy it like crazy, but it's just sad that I've been loving it, but it's sad that we have to wait until next year till we get the conclusion to this story. So
I can definitely understand that, because that's kind of why I dropped off with Walking Dead, because they'd only give you like a little snippet and then you'd have to wait forever for another installment.
Yeah, and season 11 is going to be even worse with that, dude. They're doing 8
season 11's already
episodes.
started.
No, I know. I'm caught up so far, but
I'm not. I'm like 3 or 4 episodes behind.
I'm like 4 seasons behind.
You told me like a month ago you were caught up.
I was caught up.
Lance, yeah.
Oh,
because I asked you, I was like, hey,
I did.
Yes, you did. I literally asked because I was like, hey guys, what do you think about reviewing each episode as they come out? And you're like, yeah, I'm caught up. That's fine.
I was caught up, and
that was a long time ago. I haven't watched Walking Dead in a couple years.
I fell off when season 11 started. Right. Like I've seen like
I love you, Lance.
The first 2 or 3 episodes of season 11, and then I kind of fell off of it. And
yeah,
I have to get back. Like they're on my DVR. I just haven't really sat down and committed the time to watch it.
I get it. It's tough because like you mentioned, Lance, like there's a long time between them, and now they're going to be doing 8 episodes and then taking like I think 4 or 5 months off, and then another 8 episodes, and then like I'm pretty sure season 11 is going to lead until 2023, or at least all of 2022.
No, it definitely goes deep into 2022. And then they have
they're doing it in
three
parts of 8 is what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't like this. Like Netflix does that too. It's like season 1, part 1, season 1, part 2. And it's like, dude, if it's season 1 in your issue, that's season 1. And then call the next one season 2. Like, don't put this.
Break up the monotony for the demand, though, dude, because
just name them.
People are going to stream it all. People are going to sit there and stream it all. And then they're going to be like, well, when's the next season coming? And then you're like, oh, a year. Oh, unsubscribe.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is like release them the way they're doing. I just hate the part 1, part 2. Like just call it season 1 and then season 2, not season 1, part 1, and then season 1, part 2. Like that's just dumb. Because then I don't know, like Lucifer did that shit. It's like Lucifer was on for 6 seasons and it feels like it's been on for 12. You know what I mean? Because they just release little snippets of it. Yeah. But the last thing I can remember from The Walking Dead, as far as what I saw, was when Carl died. That's how long it's been.
You're really far behind.
Dead. Yeah. It was like around that time that Carl died, and I saw a snippet of the girl that Carl liked, her head on a pike, but I didn't watch that episode. I just saw that scene.
I'm sorry if you guys are like behind and you just got crazy.
That was a long time ago. I'm pretty
My problem
sure
with the way The Walking Dead is in the show, though, is like as a massive fan of the comics, someone who loves the comics, it's taken such a drastic turn. Like all the big players in the comics are dead in the show. Except, well, Rick isn't really dead, but he's not around. So he's gone. Carl's gone. Michonne's gone. Andrea's gone. Like all these big players that were there till the end are gone. So like that was the big thing in the comic book is like who killed Rick Grimes? You know, the death of Rick Grimes to end the series. Like, because that's how the comic book ends. You see Rick Grimes die in issue 192, and then 193 is a jump into the future, and it's the final issue. Like, this is the story of Rick Grimes, and it ends with his death. So now you don't have that. Or
well, there's supposed to be 2 or 3 movies coming out. So do you think those are going to address it?
that means he has to come back to the governor. He has to come back to the Commonwealth, and because he dies then in the Commonwealth, and he dies at the hands of the president of the Commonwealth's son, and like there's just all these key things that can't happen anymore because he's not part of the show. So I'm here to tell you, spoiler alert, you know, I have a pretty good hunch that Daryl Dixon, no, because he's gonna be, that's not even right. I was gonna say I think Daryl's gonna be the one that gets killed in the Commonwealth, but you're gonna have the Daryl and Carol show afterwards. You have all these spin-offs, and unless that's gonna
that
take,
I'm annoyed about. I'm like, can we just
unless it's gonna take part in a
this?
certain period of time, it's like,
Yeah, I'm not.
who's in this? Who are we invested in? That's gonna take that death and
Maggie?
have it being as meaningful.
Is Maggie gonna die at the end of all of this? Maybe.
Maybe
been around
maybe
a long
she's the
time.
one that dies, but it's like,
You know, I'm feeling my bro Negan. Most people I don't
Negan
think
takes
are, though.
off. Like
Maybe in the
Negan-
comics, but
in the comic, well, yeah, in the comic,
Well,
he
the
takes
last
off,
thing
but-
I read, and this may be a huge spoiler alert, but I read about it, was Negan kind of left Maggie to die in some episode recently.
yeah, but
So now he's a bad guy again.
No, he's not.
it's yeah. You need
They already
context.
sorted that all out, but
Yeah, missing context. The fact checkers have
Yeah.
found.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, I don't know. I just read.
No, I know.
something that-
I'm caught up on everything except for because they're doing this dumb thing now where they release it on AMC Plus first, and then you
Yeah.
don't get it for a week on TV. So I'm caught up as far as you can be on TV, which is episode 6, I think.
Wait, they're releasing it on the streaming service and then a week later on TV.
Yeah, it's dumb.
yeah,
What?
That's
That
their way
is
of
the
pushing you to
biggest
their
slap
streaming
of the
service.
face to the people that have been watching it on TV for all these years.
Oh, I
that just
that's
agree.
the
feels
way
like a slap in the
they
face.
want you to get that streaming service, man.
Welcome back, Sticks Boy. We are talking about The Walking Dead, even though the picture is The Last Ronin. Should we get back to The Last Ronin? What else did you have to say about this? Matt?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, you know, it's just gonna be. It got pushed to 2022, so it's taking over a year for this story to be told. Highly anticipated, and it kind of makes you lose interest, and then you're like, oh hey, yeah, when you see it's coming back out. But like, I think this is a book that, like, if you you guys probably don't pay attention to it, but I do. There's a huge debate going on social media, on IG specifically, about flipping comics and selling comic books and the secondary market. And I think like this is the kind of story that the secondary market benefits, because people keep it alive and keep it in the forefront of your mind because they're selling this book, because they're flipping this book and things like that. Like, it keeps you being like, oh yeah, I got to finish reading that, or oh yeah, that new issue comes out. If you didn't have that secondary market, I think this is one of those stories that people will forget about and be like, oh yeah, only when it comes back out. And it might affect the telling of the story, because it's been pretty good and it's been years in the making, and I'm ready for it to be done, but I don't know if I want to wait till 2022, man. Like this.
Well,
This
I have all
4-month
these.
break kills.
I have all these. Like these were next on my docket to read. Like, I'm all caught up on the trial of Magneto and all that stuff. I've been reading all those.
Yeah,
because
see,
of
like
the
I said,
stuff we do on here. I'm just gonna wait until February and then I'll read them all.
like Sick Boy just said, 2 years. Didn't part 1 come out in December 2020 before the LCS shut down? Agree. I couldn't remember if it was 1 year or 2 years. I believe you're right. It is 2 years, but I couldn't recall if it was 1 year or 2 years, because I remember talking about this like at the beginning of 2020, and now here we are going into 2022 and it's still not done yet. So yes, I believe you are right. 2 years.
Well, that's like a year and 2 months.
A year and a half, yeah. But by the time this is out, it's going to be 2 years. But
Well, it's still only like a year and 2 months, but it'll span 3 different calendar
but yeah, I want to take a
years.
moment before we move on to our next topic. I want to take a moment to shout out everyone who's new to our show or listening to us coming over from Whatnot. I've been selling comics on Whatnot to kind of pay off some medical bills and pay for the appearance of the Geek Queen herself in January. So been selling
Do you
some
have a
stuff
name
on
yet?
Whatnot, and we have names, but we're not going to name her until she's born. But
Gotcha.
I can
been
respect
selling
that.
some books on Whatnot and sent some stickers and some flyers in the package I sent out. So Anybody who's checking us out from Whatnot, welcome to the show. Hope you guys
Yeah,
stick around
thank
and
you.
subscribe. And if you guys are on all socials, make sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Absolute Geek Podcast. Actually, Twitter is A Geek Podcast, but yeah, welcome to the Absolute Geek Army, and we're glad to have you here. Sick Boy City guy hits today. Good stuff.
Nice.
So
That's
Don't forget TikTok. Lance does some TikTok.
yes, we're on
content.
TikTok as well. Lance works hard on those TikToks.
Yeah.
I have fun with it. It's fun doing.
He does
little
good stuff
videos
on
and
TikTok.
stuff.
So yeah, we're on all social media platforms. So check us out there. I just thought it would be a good time to plug Whatnot. So yeah, let's talk Titans, man.
Yeah, man.
I'll let you guys start because I feel like I usually like barrel rush every time we switch a slide.
It's funny. I
Oh.
feel like I do the same thing, but I'm gonna go ahead and barrel rush this time.
Yeah,
I
go
love
for it.
this episode. I thought it was great. You know, there were returns of characters that I've been wanting to see forever. The storyline seemed to progress a little bit more. I am convinced now that we're not getting 2 story arcs in this season. We are just going to get the Red Hood Scarecrow stuff. That's the story arc. Because now at this point we're 10 episodes into a 15 episode season. I think it'd be weird to wrap something and start something new now. But you know, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. What did you think of it, Matt?
I liked it a lot, man. I mean, I like the depth we're getting in with Jason now and the Red Hood stuff, and you're seeing how conflicted he is between his family and Crane and kind of what's going on. I liked I'm liking the callback to what Batman Begins, where they poison Gotham's water supply with the hallucination serum, and I'm kind of liking all of it, man. And it's, you know, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we see Tim Drake in the Robin costume. And
yeah, I was surprised they didn't show him because he came back. He was supposed to have come back to life.
Yeah,
we haven't
I
seen
didn't
him.
necessarily need
I
to
think there's
see
gonna be a
2
big
weeks in a
reveal.
row of Donna having an afterlife fight. I actually really loved last week's episode. Like I said, you guys weren't here, but like I said, last week's episode was like the perfect culmination of a comic book show, because it was like watching a comic play out on the screen, the way they handled death. Like they even handled death and resurrection very much like a comic book.
Last week's episode might have been my favorite of the entire series.
Yeah.
Like I loved it so
good.
much. But
I loved it and
that
hated
being
it.
said, yeah, they kind of pulled the rug out from under me, because this whole time you're watching this show and you're thinking, oh, we're gonna get Hawk. We're gonna get Hawk back.
Mhm.
And then they said, fuck
But they
you.
gave him such a happy ending, though.
They did. They put him with the original Dove, but now where does that leave Dove in the real world? You know what I
Out
mean?
in the wind.
Yeah.
But
Which
I'm not
who doesn't
okay
want
with
to
it.
see more Mink? Yeah,
I'm
who
not
doesn't want to
okay
see more
with it.
Minka Kelly? But
I liked
yeah.
I liked all that. I liked the questionable double cross by GCPD on
Oof.
Nightwing and the crew.
Yeah, dude,
and-
that actor came on screen and I was like, he's acting like a good guy. That's weird. This guy's always a bad guy. I can't pinpoint what else he's in, but I see him and I'm like, he's a bad guy. He's always a bad guy. And of course,
now you got
he turned out to be a dirty
Barbara.
cop.
Yeah, you got Barbara shooting a cop and her being arrested, and you kind of see the Titans in a little bit of disarray and turmoil. And
I thought her getting arrested was weird because she told the guys to stand down. They didn't. And then she opened fire.
yeah,
It seemed like she was justified, but I don't know. Maybe I missed something.
but I like
I need to watch it again because I feel like I didn't get as much out of it as you guys did.
I like when they shoot Blackfire and Superboy kind of goes evil a little
Berserk.
bit and starts going crazy. His eyes go red and he starts going crazy, and like them tranking Beast Boy and Raven finding him. And
Yeah, that was awesome. Raven's finally back. Or the Starfire lost her powers.
yeah, Blackfire
crazy.
taking Starfire's powers.
Do you think Blackfire did it on purpose?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think she did?
You think so?
She is evil. She is evil. Blackfire is evil. She is just buying her time. So
I love the end with Donna Troy.
She didn't have her powers, so she just regained her powers now. So by taking Starfire, by taking Corey's. The stuff with Donna Troy at the end where she's trying to come in the city and she like bends
totally
the
just-
guns and stuff.
Yeah, it's badass.
Something seems
thought
very
that was
off
awesome.
about her to me, though.
Well, the way she was brought back, do you think it has the same effects as like the Lazarus pit? Because doesn't the Lazarus pit every time you use it kind of make you a little crazy?
Yeah. There's always whenever you use the Lazarus pit, there's always a piece of you left behind.
Yeah, but do you think that this is the way she was brought back is kind of would have a similar effect?
I don't know. It
don't know.
kind of
'Cause I was
feels
thinking
that
that.
way, but maybe not.
I'm not getting that vibe, but maybe I'm just not as perceptive as you, Matt. I think she seems fairly similar to what I'm used to. But maybe I'm just also so like freaking stricken with how pretty she is that I just don't even pay
She is
attention to
super
Oh
her.
my
hot.
gosh,
God.
dude.
Stick Boy says I started Titans this week, still on episode 1, but I'm interested so far. Episode 1 of season 1? Because good man, you got a long way to go.
And there's a lot of shit in there just to
Season 1 and 2 were kind of like, okay, this is a show. It's not until like season 3 that the show has really picked up, because I remember that you've always had that debate of people saying, well, Doom Patrol's way better than Titans. Doom Patrol's way better than Titans. But like season 3 of Titans Red has really solidified this show. And
Yeah,
I
I
still think Doom Patrol's better than Titans.
It's interesting because I this Thursday I woke up and I'm like, which show am I gonna watch? And I wanted to watch Titans more than Doom Patrol. I still haven't finished the 4th episode of Doom Patrol. I'm really into it. And a year ago I would have told you Doom Patrol was my preferred show of the two.
that's how I am too, man. Like Wednesday, I wake up, I don't start work till 7:30, so I usually wake up about 6 because I like to have a little bit of time to like get acclimated and wake up and have breakfast. So like I'll wake up and I'll watch like Wednesday I'm watching What If and first thing in the morning. Thursday it's Titans and then Doom Patrol, and then Friday it's Ted Lasso. So
Wow, that
I
was a
watched
great
Ted
episode.
Lasso at 1:30 this morning, dude. Like I couldn't wait. Like because last week's episode was so fucking good, and this week's episode was just even better. Like
fuck. I'm not gonna ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it. I'm gonna say it's
oh
fuck
yeah,
Nate.
it just came
That's
out.
that
Fuck
character.
We'll spoil it. We'll give it a couple weeks after the whole thing ends, and we'll just spend like 5-10 minutes on it.
Fuck Nate. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Bastard. I was in his corner too, and I was
he
rooting
fucked
for him
over
this
2
entire
people in
time.
that show.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Motherfucker.
So yeah, I still like Doom Patrol because Doom Patrol has Titans is very like cut and dry, right? It is what you get. Like there's no like I don't know. It's just like another superhero show. Like there's not really that element of like what the fuck is going on, right? Like Doom Patrol, the shit they cook up is just bonkers. Like
Well, that's the whole thing about Doom Patrol. It's supposed to be bonkers, but
and I love that. I prefer that. Like it just every time you watch it, you're like, what the like how much acid did you have to do to think of werebutts? Like how much did you have to how many drugs did you ingest to think of werewolf butts like that?
or fucking sex ghosts.
Sex ghosts that make another appearance in this latest episode.
Yeah, they've made an appearance like nearly every episode this season.
Yeah.
What was their safe word? That was pretty funny. All of them turn up. All of them have a safe word of turn up.
Yeah, it's awesome. No, but Titans, I mean, I like it. I like this season better than I did the first two. I mean, there was some bright spots from the first 2 seasons, but so far this season has been pretty good from front to back. The reason I watched this one first is because my wife actually enjoys Doom Patrol and I can't watch it without her. So this one, my wife has said, no, I'm not into that. Because this feels like just an edgier CW show to me.
See, that's how Aaron is. Aaron's constantly like, I want a show we can watch together. I want a show we can watch together. But like, I'm so invested in all this stuff, and she's so far behind that like, I'm like, I can't wait. Like, do you understand that I do a podcast every Friday where I talk about this shit? Do you understand that I'm friends with a bunch of dudes that the minute something's over, they're asking, oh shit, have you seen this? That they're going to spoil it. So I have to watch it as it comes. So either you need to catch up and get on my level quick, or we just need to let this ship sail and find something else. And like, I'm having
you
fun
guys should
rewatching
Night Mass together.
I don't know. Isn't that scary?
Dude, yeah, is she not into that?
No, like, yeah, no. But
I'll
like,
think
I've
of
got to
some.
watch
I'll
in
think of some
season
that I
one
watched
of,
with my wife.
like,
Go
we
ahead.
watched all of like I said, that movie Clickbait, or that show Clickbait. She was the one that recommended it, and I was kind of like, I don't really want to watch it. And then she got me into it, and by like the third episode, I was hooked. And we were sitting there talking about like, you know, different
Do you see she's
ideas, different
commenting right
ways.
now?
Yeah, different ways the show is going, and like she got me in that. What's up, Stumbling Jedi? Welcome in, buddy. She got me into that show.
Linda,
and
listen, Linda.
I know. I see. Like, she doesn't have the kind of time to watch TV like I do. I know, but I'm getting her into watching Ted Lasso, and like she seems to be enjoying that. Like the other night, we watched like 4 episodes of it together, and I fell asleep on the couch, and she was still watching it. But it's rough. But yeah,
No, I mean Ted Lasso was over, and I think you and I like texted each other first thing in the morning, and we had to
Yeah.
like bite our tongue because Max hadn't seen it yet. Which Max
Yeah.
needs to get on our level for sure.
he's got
when
a
it comes to
job,
Ted
man.
Lasso.
Like he said, I got a job, man.
Will not stop me from watching Ted Lasso. It's on. first
I
thing in the
also
morning.
watch it with my wife, and so
Oh,
we gotta
yeah,
find
I
time
don't-
that like the two of us can
Well,
watch
that's
together.
my same thing with Doom Patrol. I had to quickly consume 3 and 4 tonight before the show. Like I finished 20 minutes before the show started.
But like
You
there's
know.
shows like I watch like Dave and What We Do in the Shadows and stuff. She's just like, what is this stupid shit? Like you watch some of the
Dave.
stupidest
Dude.
shows.
My wife is. I started watching Dave with my wife after episode 2. She's like, "Yeah, this is one you can watch by yourself."
You're like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's the
Oh,
same
no.
thing with
I
Letterkenny.
will
Like it's
take it.
very similar, like kind of humor. Like if you
Yeah.
like Letterkenny, you'll like Dave.
I love
Like in
Letterkenny.
my
That's
opinion,
good to
but
know because I love Letterkenny.
Dave is more raunchier than Letterkenny for sure.
Yes.
But it's just so good, dude. I mean, he's a rapper that's named Little Dicky. Like if that's any indication of what the show is like. and he's
I knew-
actually like he was a rapper first, named Little
Yeah.
Dicky.
I love his music, man. I love his raps and stuff. And
I've been listening to him for years, dude. Like not like actively listen to him, but he's been on like the radar
yeah.
for a few years now. I want to say at least a decade or more.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Like I remember hearing about him. Like, did you see this idiot that's on on the internet? It's about time he's getting some recognition, but yeah. I'll think of some shows that my wife and I watch that we really enjoy that maybe you and Aaron would watch. But she's not into the horror.
No.
You need to watch Midnight Mass then by yourself. It's good, dude.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, did you like Haunting of Hill House?
Never watched it.
Oh, bro. Skip Bly Manor, watch Haunting of Hill House, and watch.
Listen, I got Tiger King season 2 coming up, all right? That's the only thing that's on my radar right now. That's all I care about.
Can we-
Good?
What's up, Max?
I just want to talk about the fact that Lance put together these fun little comic book covers, and I just read the one he
Magazines.
made.
They're supposed to be like
magazines.
Cosmos.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry, but the one he put together for you, Matt, is hilarious. It's got a
45
picture
ways
of
to
Matt
keep your man happy.
coming back for more with Matt from the Absolute Geek
That's
Podcast.
right. I will satisfy your man. Wait, what?
The makeup tutorials, I thought of that because I was looking at Cosmo covers to try to get ideas for this, and I took some of their most ridiculous things and like just kind of warped them to work for us. But the makeup tutorials, I thought of that one after I was looking for a picture of you, and I saw the penguin picture of you.
Oh, you should have done that one.
Well, I
They're
only used that
fantastic.
one. I try to use ones that I knew that that you two were okay with, and I used the one that you use for basically everything on
Yeah.
our show. But I didn't want to put up anything there that was going to be like, why the fuck did you use that?
Yeah. Aaron, any suggestion? He's like, meh.
I know. Although Matt suggests something to me, I'm like, oh, I got to go watch that right now.
But it's just like,
You got me into Letterkenny.
yeah, but I like that weird, like, twisted shows.
You and I are
Like,
very similar in that regard. I need to watch What We Do in the Shadows. Like
I'm not a big horror. Like I like horror as much as the next guy. I respect it, but like horror is one genre where I'm like, if I come across it, I come across it. It's not like something I have to run out to watch, you know? Like,
so
I
I
actively
like
avoid it.
yeah.
see I love horror in general, but I get really bored with like the very stereotypical stuff. You know, like It Chapter 2, which I was so hyped up about, was just awful.
Yeah.
Because it's just stereotypical. Mike Flanagan that did the 3 shows I was talking about, and Bly Manor is a bit of a dud, but the Haunting of Hill House and this latest one, Midnight Mass, they're just very clever. Like they're very cerebral almost. You know what I mean? Like you
Mhm.
have to actually think about what he's putting forward. And that's what I like about it, is that there is the horror element, but there's more of a thought process that goes behind it instead of like cheap scare tactics.
But I'll
That's what's great
definitely have
about
to check
his
it out
shows.
because like I like horror, like I like suspense shows that keep me guessing, shows that allow me to deduce my own theories and then watch them play out whether I'm right or wrong. And
Midnight
don't
Mass
like
is that show.
I don't like stuff that I can easily be like, well, this is what's gonna happen. Yep, call that. So like Black Mirror, I love Black Mirror. Like I didn't think I was gonna like that clickbait show, but after you get into it and you're kind of like trying to deduce what's going on and who did what and who's guilty and who's not, it's like, all right, you're getting into it because you're able to interact with the show. So therefore, it allows you another level of viewing pleasure, kind of like that documentary "Don't Fuck with Cats" on the internet. Like,
Dude, that documentary was awesome.
it just like piles and piles and piles on things, and like you're able to interact with it. You're able to get invested. You're able to get involved and get that extra level of viewing and that extra level of, you know, just succumbing to it almost. That, you know, sensory overload, that extra level there that you don't get from some of this other stuff.
So after you're saying that, I really think you will like Midnight Mass and Haunting of Hill
I'll
House,
have to
because
check it
those
out.
are those
I'll have
kind
to
of
check
those
it out.
shows. Like if you can get past the horror element, these are very cerebral shows.
It's probably gonna be something that I'll come back to in a couple weeks when, like, because Ted Lasso's ending next week, What If's ending, Titans is probably gonna be ending
We have a
soon.
lull.
So yeah, once we hit that lull, when I'll go. See, Aaron's making fun of me because I watch Jersey Shore. There's something about trashy.
Okay.
You deserve
reality
to be
TV.
made fun of.
No, listen.
Yeah.
There's something about trashy reality.
Hold on,
TV.
I'm an admin. Let's boot him.
Oh, retribution.
I deserve it. But there's something about trashy reality TV. And like when I was going, like I used to watch this show with my ex-wife and I was going through my divorce. Like it was something that like I watched to escape. And it's something that's just kind of stuck with me. Like there's just something like it's a little bit of a comfort thing for me. So I do watch trashy reality TV like that. And she makes fun of me for it, but I'll admit it.
Aaron supports our booting.
She
you from
does.
the program.
She lets me know. Like
no,
I'll put it up.
I can't get into reality. Like I watch documentaries. I love documentaries. There's one about the crazy Christian lady that's on HBO Max that just came out that I'm excited to watch. I love documentaries. So that's about as far as I'll go into reality TV. Kardashians and Jersey Shore. Like
I don't watch Kardashians. Like Jersey Shore.
Well, like I put those all in the same boat, dude. Like,
yeah, no,
they're just very unrealistic type of people, right? Like that's what the Vanderhills or whatever their name is. I don't know what their name is.
Yeah, I don't watch. See, Jersey Shore is the only show like that. That and Alaskan Bush People are like the only like reality TV shows I watch.
But these are people that just seem so. Like I understand they're real people, but it is kind of scripted.
But they live fantastical lives. Like
Right.
Duck Dynasty. I watched that. I thought it was funny. But that's like rich hillbillies. That's not the standard for hillbillies. So they were showing us
I watched
view
Duck
of the South.
Dynasty to see what the guy that always drank the tea, to see what he would say next, because that guy was just like a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
that guy was just a
hilarious.
meme all the time. But it was more like clips, like I don't know. I just feel dumber when I
I
watch
watched
those
every
shows.
episode of that show.
It's one of those shows that I feel like I grew up with these people because I watched it from season 1 with my ex to now. So it's like it was that constant void filler for me, and it was something that
It's still around.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jersey Shore is?
Yeah, they have Jersey Shore Family Vacation now.
With all the same people?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought they all hated each other.
Stumbling Jedi says they like to preach Jesus on Duck Dynasty. Yes, they do.
They did, yeah. It hasn't been on the air for a long time, but yeah, they did. But they got out of all sorts of shenanigans.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't do the reality TV. I'm trying to. My wife was watching one. I can't even think of. Oh, it was like Sister Wives or something like that about the polygamist. It was like a reality show. And I walk in and I see 5 or 10 minutes of this. I was like, I feel dumb just being in this room right now. Like the stuff that people are saying, like no human being can actually think that this stuff is real. Like, I don't know. I just can't get into it. But more power to you, dude. Like, if that's your thing,
we all have that one deep little secret about us. Like that's like the last thing I think that people that have been listening to this show for 6, 7+ years get to know about me is that I secretly like trashy reality TV, specifically Jersey Shore. That's it. That's all I'll go. I don't go to Kardashians or anything like that. That and Alaskan Bush people.
Isn't there like Bama Shore or something like that?
Florida Bama Shore, yeah.
Florida Bama Shore.
Mm-hmm. But I like documentaries too. So like I watch there's a good documentary about DB Cooper on HBO Max. I like watching like My 600 Pound Life and shows like that. Like
My 600 Pound Life is an interesting one.
That one reminds me of remember MTV True Life? It's kind of the same show, right?
Motherfucker, dude! I can't wait for this to come up.
What are you talking about?
This comment that Stumbling Jedi just made that for some reason isn't showing up in StreamYard, but he said, "My little secret is that I pee through my butt."
Oh my goodness!
No, they did not interview Loki on that DB Cooper show. They should have. Huh?
I loved that in that was in the Loki show, right?
Yeah,
where he was DB Cooper. Oh man, I cracked up when I saw that because he does look like the sketches from that. There's a good one on HBO Max about the it's the cult of what's the
chick
one?
from
That's the girl from Smallville.
Yep,
Nexium or something like that. That's a good one. And then there's another one about like this Christian cult that was really good. HBO Max has some really good documentaries.
There's a good one about the McDonald's Monopoly game.
Yeah, I watched that one about how there was people stealing pieces and like yeah. I watched that one because I watched The Founder. You know that movie with
it's a very good movie.
Yeah. So I watched The Founder and then the McDonald's game one came out a little while after that and it piqued my interest because of that Founder movie. Have you seen that one, Max? The Founder?
No, I've heard it's good, but I have not.
About the dude who's
surprisingly good. It's a movie that you watch that you're like, this is gonna suck. It's about fucking McDonald's. Like it has to suck. And it's very good. Like, and that guy is a scumbag.
Yeah, because the seedy underhandedness of it.
Yeah.
The Founder is the greatest book known to man, Stumbling Jedi says.
Oh, it's based on a book?
But what do we got next, Max?
That's what
yes, we are at that time. Sad to say, it is October 1st. So we are in starting to kick off
last
the
quarter
season. So periodically through the next couple months, through at least Thanksgiving, I think we're gonna run down some lists of holiday ideas for that geek in your life. Maybe it's a son, a daughter, a cousin, an uncle, somebody you got to buy a geek gift for. We're going to run down some ideas for you for geeks. And I've had a lot of conversation and getting ready to be a dad myself, and Max and Lance are parents, and people are always talking about how, this show helps them connect to their kids and their toys. I figured we'd kick it off by talking about some of the hottest toys ideas for 2021.
Can I ask for a sneak peek? Is there a Wi-Fi router for Lance?
No, there's not.
Okay. Is it fucking up still?
Yeah, you've been blurry for the last
I don't think minutes. It's my router, dude. I think it's my Wi-Fi card in my laptop.
Oh, I'm pretty confident it is.
So too. I looked through like Walmart's list, all these lists of the top toys for the holiday season for this stuff.
That one even has the van in it. That's awesome.
Yep. So the first one we got here is the Lego Marvel's Avengers Endgame Final Battle playset. It's going to run you about $69.97, but it definitely can appease the Avengers fan or Marvel fan, young fan, or even old fan, because I know there's a lot of older Lego collectors out there in your life. I may or may not be looking for one of these on the store shelves this weekend if I go to the store, but you know, it's just an idea for one of the Lego. Kill two birds with one stone. If you're a Marvel fan and a Lego fan, that's a perfect Lego set to go after there. It's the Lego Marvel Avengers Endgame Final Battle, due for 2021 Christmas season, $69.97.
That's really cool. Can I ask a question? When the hell did Legos get so expensive? I was looking at the Harry Potter ones. They had one that was like $150.
Wait until you see the Guardians of the Galaxy one that's coming up.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So the next one idea we have is the Marvel Spider-Man Super Web Slinging Web Shooters, running about $19.87, $20. It's that same thing it's been doing. It's a little can of silly string that shoots out with the Spider-Man glove.
My son has this.
The young Marvel Spider-Man fan in your life at your local Walmart this holiday season. Black Friday's coming for quicker than you think, boys.
When you buy this, make sure they don't spray it on your walls in the house.
Yes.
It will peel off the paint.
Go ahead next, Lane or Max. We have our Star Wars Galactic Snacking Grogu. That's right. It is a Grogu that eats frogs or whatever kind of eggs you wanted to eat. Frog people eggs. $79. I don't know if I'd spend that much on a Grogu.
That's a lot, man. We have a Grogu
that
doll.
Mouth
but...
looks fucking creepy. His mouth looks creepy as hell. There's way too many teeth right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not into that. But like a good Grogu doll, like it's like a stuffed animal version that was given to my son for his birthday, and that thing's great. That one's fine. But yeah, I don't know that I need it. Nearly $80. I don't know if it was you or if it was my brother. I can't remember.
We bought him something.
No,
you got Wars.
No, you got him Babu Frick.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this one was for my brother.
My Taylor wants a Grogu doll. They named one of our tortoises that we got Grogu or Baby Yoda, but I keep calling it Grogu.
We got next for the dinosaur fan in your household. We got the Jurassic World Legacy Collection Tyrannosaurus Rex Escape Pack with the Humvee. If only it came with a miniature.
Jeff
Goldblum, thank you.
I was going to say,
I don't know how we were on the same level, dude. Like, but
if only it came with a miniature
every
Jeff
toy
Goldblum
set should come with a miniature Jeff Goldblum.
Exactly. Like that's a show I'm excited for. Jeff Goldblum, the Jeff Goldblum show. Like,
is that one coming back?
Yep, for a second season. Yep.
Nice. The first season was so fun. The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it should be soon. But
dude, yes, the one he did on jeans, I was fascinated.
You're right.
Like he did the one on jeans.
Sneakers is good too.
Yeah, man.
All the shit they thought of doing.
$49.99, I think, and
get it for the dinosaur fan and your little dinosaur fan in your house's holiday season.
So is this kind of a Jurassic World spoiler? They bringing back the old Jeeps?
No, I just think they're re-releasing the like
Classics.
Legacy collection. Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably name it Jurassic World because that's like the new branding.
The Lego Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy ship battleship build kit.
That is bad. That's cool
$150.
looking.
That's the Milano, right?
You're getting to build Star-Lord's ship, and it comes with all the little Guardians of the Galaxy, including Thor.
That's
Legos.
Cool. So it's the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yep. So you get Star-Lord and Thor, Nebula,
Groot,
Rocket. Yeah,
I don't see Drax in this picture, but
get that for your.
He's right there.
Is he in the back on the
Galaxy.
right?
Yeah, he's right there.
He just doesn't
no
look very
Gamora
much like
though.
him.
I think Max Bender was showing me this because he got it for his kid, and he was like, my kid could give a fuck all about Star Wars, but he's all about this, and he sent me this, and I was like, holy shit, man! Like that's some fucking dedication right there to build
it's
that.
Almost 2,000 pieces.
Yeah, I
That's
saw it
a lot.
as the like on the this year's hot Christmas list, and I was like, good God, like who's really buying that for their kids to destroy? You spend
A lot
all
of
your
people.
time putting that together,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then your
dude.
kid drops it and the shit splatters. I'm like, fuck. It's
Yeah,
like
this kind of
Ned.
stuff is like you're not playing with it. You're putting
like
it together
Ned
and
in,
displaying it.
Spider-Man Homecoming when he's got the Lego Death Star and he drops it and it like explodes everywhere. It's like, fuck.
Did you watch that one of I forget what late night show it is, but someone hands Harrison Ford a Millennium Falcon Lego set and he drops it?
No.
It's real. Like it's a
Ugh.
late night show, and they're like, I was wondering if you'd sign my Lego Millennium Falcon. It was huge. Like it was probably 2.5 feet long. And he gets it and drops it, dude. I don't know if it was staged or not, but it was like some talk show or something like that. Like
It was probably staged then.
Aaron just says the family and nanny for buy so many big Lego sets for their kids. There you
If
go.
they
I
can
won't
afford
do
a
it
nanny,
anymore,
makes
dude.
sense.
Yeah.
We spent $100 on it was like a Batman Bat Cave. Like it was all these, it was like this huge set. And I sat there and I put the whole thing together and I glued every piece together so it would stay together because he just likes the guys and he likes to, it's almost like a dollhouse for boys. But he immediately just started like peeling the pieces off. I super glued these things and he immediately started peeling the pieces off. I said, that was a waste of $100. It's fucking expensive.
I guess that's one thing I can hopefully look forward to having a girl is that I'm never going to step on Legos, but I'm sure I will.
Well,
Yeah.
She might like Legos. You never know. Guess depends what you buy for your kid.
That
And
looks
the
fun.
last on the list is the Spider-Man, Spidey, and his amazing friends web quarters playset.
Another effort, dude.
$62.99.
My kid is too young for like all these toys you're showing, but you're making me realize that a few years from now, Christmas is going to be expensive.
Yes.
Oh,
He's
dude.
not- I
All
don't
of
know
this is
if you're young for
expensive.
this, man. And do you have him? He's not watching the Spidey and his amazing friends on Disney Plus.
He's too little for that, I think. Still,
Not yet.
No way. That's like Paw Patrol stuff right there, man. Like this is
Yeah,
targeted
our-
towards little kids.
our two kids, like my daughter's just now getting into like Cocomelon stuff, which is like very basic. Like that's even more basic than Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol is like for my 2-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, if I put it on, he would watch it. He just wouldn't understand what was going on, but he'd
I mean,
still
if you
probably
got him
watch
out
it.
here watching Lord of the Rings with you and Star Wars
Exactly.
and stuff. Like,
No, I have no problem putting it on for him. I just haven't. We do a lot of. Oh man, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's like a Cocomelon.
Peppa
I don't even
Pig
know what
has
the
been
fuck
playing in my
Cocomelon
house. Peppa Pig has been in my house like for the last 2 months.
I just turned on the TV today and I saw that they have a fucking Thomas the Tank Engine like cartoon now where it's more geared towards really little kids.
Yeah, we watched that one. I hated it. That was not.
Aaron says Cocomelon is the definition of insanity. I'm glad I don't know what the hell Cocomelon is.
Oh, you will.
You don't have to.
You will.
Stick Boy says Cocomelon. Isn't that a mixed drink? What the hell are you getting your kids into?
So Cocomelon is essentially it's on Netflix and each episode is a bunch of just like nursery songs like Mary Had a Little Lamb and stuff with like cartoon charters.
Yeah, that's what
acting
Little
these kids
Baby
out.
Bum is. That's the one that we watch.
Yeah.
I don't mind Little
Cocomelon.
Baby Bum.
Nope.
Uh,
not doing it, boys.
Last Christmas, the doll from Cocomelon, his name is JJ, was sold out everywhere. Like we could not find it. We finally found one and we paid an extra like $30 for it to get it for my daughter.
Not doing it, boys. My daughter will watch the 80s TMNT classics, the real Ghostbusters.
You think I thought the same thing? But
Avatar
when they're
The Last
screaming
Airbender.
screaming their head off, you will go for anything.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I agree. Little Baby Bum is like the pacifier for this kiddo. Like you're in a bad mood,
Dude.
boom.
I tried to get my kids into the real Ghostbusters, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We watched Mad Max. We've watched all of them. All these shows that I watched when I was a kid, Transformers, all of them. They could give a fuck about any of them, dude. Like they want the new age Pokemon. They don't even like the old Pokemon. They want the new Pokemon. The only one that I could get them into that I watched when I was a kid was the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's the only one.
Nice.
I don't ever have to worry about my kid watching SpongeBob because Erin's completely against that. So one of the first things she said to me is that she will never watch SpongeBob, and I'm okay with that.
So we watch the SpongeBob movies as a family, and I gotta tell you, I roll on the ground laughing. Like they're so fucking stupid and funny. I love them.
Ugh.
But we started watching the Rugrats reboot, and that's just bad.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about this because the last episode was hysterical.
Let's go talk about Doom Patrol.
So I watched 3 and 4 tonight, episodes 3 and 4. And they're kind of seem like they're kind of like the 2 episodes may as well just been one episode. Like it's kind of like just one little contained story. Episode 3, they die, right? And they go into the underworld, and somebody has the Dead Boys Society, I think they're called, has to go save them with
I really like that.
With Dolly and it's not Dolly. What's her name? Niles' kid. What's her name? Is it Dolly?
No, it's God damn it, I can't think of her name now.
I'm close, right?
No.
I can't think of her name either.
God damn it.
The one with the dog face. And I'm not
The monkey
that's not-
face.
Monkey.
Is it a
face.
monkey? Yeah, I knew it was
Yes.
some animal that they referenced, but her and the bandage man, Larry, I think his name is, they go and save them from the underworld. Well, the next episode, this episode 4, because they came back from the underworld and Rowena from Supernatural, I don't know, the spider face lady is what they keep calling her in episode 3, vomited on them. They now all turned to zombies, and now they have to save them from being zombies.
That was hilarious, man. When they're like growling and it's got subtitles and
so funny, dude. But the best part, so Willoughby resurrects Niles' head.
Dorothy,
Thanks, dude. Dorothy.
You weren't even close.
Oh, hey, we're getting into spoilers on this one.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Doom Patrol, you can check out now. We're gonna get into spoilers on it.
Yeah.
But all right, you've been warned, so turn it off now and come back if you're listening on the playback.
Which
if you're watching live,
knew
go get something to drink, chill out.
Yeah, and then come back.
It's interesting because you guys know I'm sensitive to spoilers. I haven't finished episode 4, and I'm just like, I love Doom Patrol, but it's not a show that like spoilers matter as much for some reason.
No,
because it's
It's
just like
more
a goofy
about
show.
seeing the spectacle. Like it's not like you're getting any sort of
It's just a
revelations or
goofy
anything
show.
like that. Yeah.
You know, like everything about it is just silly. A robot turning into a zombie? How is that even possible? Like I was sure
dude, at the end of the
Cliff was gonna be
show,
immune.
he has to eat Niles' brains to cure. And Anna and I both looked at each other and were like, "How does a robot eat brains?"
Yeah, that
Right?
doesn't make any sense.
And Larry somehow gets cured by eating the brains without ever taking his bandages off. Like it's just completely stupid, and they know that that's stupid, and they do it anyways.
And that's the
like-
point, and I love it. That's what I love
Yeah.
about this show. Everything is just ludicrous.
And can I say, Brendan Fraser as Cliff has to be one of the best comic book moments in television
I
ever.
love him. He's so freaking funny.
Like that is just inspired
Yeah.
casting, dude.
Tell Niles I said this. He'll know what it means.
Oh, there's so many middle fingers in this episode. Like,
Yeah.
so at the beginning of the episode, the aliens deliver the 4 dead bodies to the front doors of the mansions. Larry opens the boxes, see that there's bodies. So he then assembles these bodies back together and wraps them in bandages and puts them all around the Doom Patrol's not garbage, Kyle. Go to hell.
Yeah, get out of here. I'm gonna ban you.
He takes his dead friends and wraps them in the similar bandages to what he wears, puts them all around the dining room table, and just act like everything is okay. And then Dorothy comes home and she's like, "You don't think that this is morbid?" Because he says, well, leaving him in the box kind of felt morbid, so this is okay. And Dorothy says, no, this is morbid as well. And he goes, well, how about this? And he takes Jane's finger and flips off Cliff, and he goes, there, that's less morbid. And I laughed so hard, dude. Like I just thought it was perfect. But there were so many middle fingers in this episode just done for comic relief that I lost it.
So I know it's a couple episodes ago, but like one of the episodes I loved was the second one where they're on vacation at that resort, and you have Billy Boyd, my man Pippin from Lord of the Rings, is in there, and like, what is it, Garbu Tracks, the Conqueror or whatever, and he's just like
really just
chilling.
Kind of a softie.
Yeah, and he's just like chilling at this resort for 70 years and trying to win popularity contests. It's just funny because like this world is established as just, I guess people know that it's a really weird world. They see an alien, they get scared for a minute, and then they're like, nah, it's fine. Everyone's cool with the fact that there's just an alien hanging out at the resort. Like,
well, it's also like how they're not superheroes, but they end up figuring things out because they stumble through it. Like they just stumble upon something, or they just kind of fumble their way through it, or like they've got the Constantine ripoff in it, and it's just like,
well, to this day, like Rita, like her powers feel like useless most of the time. Rarely does she actually use them to help. They just get in the way,
right?
Like that whole episode, like half that
Cyborg's the
episode,
only
she was
legit superhero.
Yeah. Well, so why am I forgetting her name? Jane. She has cool powers, she's a cool character. But yeah,
only
Cyborg's
come out at certain times.
Yeah, she's starting to get better control of it, but yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's been the villain of many episodes because her psyche just takes over with a crazy personality.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. This is supposed to be the same universe as Titans, right?
It is, yes. Mm-hmm.
So are we going to get Cyborg?
Actually, no, I'm sorry. I don't think it is. I think
it is, because Gar actually shows up in an episode of Doom Patrol before Titans.
Titans had an episode of.
No, you're right. Titans. It was Doom Titans Patrol first.
But my understanding is this show is actually
Niles
a different universe
right?
version. Niles, a lot of things were different.
But Larry's the same. Robot Man is the same, so it is the same universe.
Well, the reason I'm saying it's a different universe is because when the CW did their multiverse stuff, they called this show a different universe number than the Titan show. They had different universe numbers, unless I'm misremembering.
I might have to go back and remember that, because I know that Titan set it up that these two shows were in the same universe.
I do remember something because I watched all of season 1 of Doom Patrol before I ever watched Titans. And then there was the Titans episode where Doom Patrol comes in, and Niles was a different person, and that whole relationship was different, right?
It was kind of like it got its own series order.
Yeah, it was kind of like a pilot for the whole concept, which is ironic because I hated that episode. I still think it's like the worst Titans episode, but the show Doom Patrol is so good.
I really hope they make a Dead Boy Society show. I'd watch the shit out of that.
It's called Young Supernatural. Move on.
What?
That's what the Dead Boy Society show would be.
Yeah, it would be Young Supernatural.
It'd be Young Supernatural.
No,
where
it'd be like
the two guys
like
are in love with each other.
Yeah, it'd be Young Supernatural.
No, but they have the fact that they're ghosts, kind of like, in that there's a live person with them. Like, it's the Dead Boy Society and then the live girl. Like, it's a different dynamic. I think it would be more like Hardy Boys.
I don't. I think it'd be like Young Supernatural, because they're fighting
supernatural entities. I like Supernatural, so
I know you do.
We brought up Supernatural, and our viewer count went down by half.
Yeah,
you fuck off. See, now when I need Kyle to back me up, he's not here, the fucker.
Well, we insulted him.
Yep.
I don't know. This is like one of my favorite shows ever. Like, I just love everything about it. The wolf. So the best part of this. So you thought werewolf butts was an absolutely ludicrous idea, right? Well, by the end, they top it by making a zombie werewolf butt. Like, they just had a little bit more, another element of total insanity into this. Like,
because
every
robot zombie isn't crazy enough, right?
Yeah, it's just absolutely, or robot zombies that can actually communicate enough to where they can't stop themselves from trying to eat their friends' brains. Like, they hang the pine tree from James Dean's car when he died on their ears, and it hides the smell of their brains.
Yep.
Like, who the hell thinks of this?
Who
Like,
knows?
this is LSD, like, at its best. Like, somebody took a hit of LSD and then wrote this show.
Probably. And I'm okay with that. I'm along for it.
The werewolf butts reminds me Halo 1 or Halo 2. I don't remember which one it is, but what do they call that in Halo 2 where it's like the hive or something like that?
Oh, the flood.
The flood. That's
The
what
hive is
werewolf butts
Destiny.
reminds me of. Oh yeah, I've never played Destiny, so I wouldn't have known that.
But yes, Doom Patrol's a good show. Check it out if you're not already watching it.
Yeah, I agree.
This is a good time in the show to remind everyone who's listening to the playback or watching this live. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you know when we go live every Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you haven't done so, make sure to like us on all social media platforms. Join the Facebook group to join the conversation. You can join the Absolute Geek fan page or our private group. Either one works. If you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and if you're looking to listen to this playback, you can find it on any platform where podcasts are available to enjoy older episodes or stay current with Absolute Geek. TikTok. If you guys are in the market, you can also check us out on Whatnot. If you're on Whatnot, make sure to like us on Whatnot so you know whenever we go live for some beautiful, beautiful comic sales.
For sure.
Dude, can I just give a quick plug? Your top 5 comic books that you've been doing, like, I love that because it's been helping me like find ones that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to read that. The trial.
Well, that's
of
literally
Magneto.
what we're about to do.
Oh, is that coming up?
Yeah,
oh, I
it's
thought we
literally-
had the end screen up.
No, we haven't even reviewed Venom
No.
yet.
Yeah, it was a transition.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Oh wow. Venom is so forgettable that I didn't even realize we hadn't reviewed it yet.
Well, we've already been going a while. We can keep that review nice and short.
Yeah.
Like the movie.
But
Yeah.
what were you
Except
going
for
to
the
say
nice
about
part.
the comics?
The Trial of Magneto is fantastic.
It is.
I
If you like
love
that,
it.
there's some books this week that you're going to want to check out on my list too. Go ahead. My top 5 comic picks of the week. Number 5, for Stumbling Jedi alone, we have Batman Reptilian. Trailing behind the mysterious reptilian menace, savaging Gotham, Batman hits the street harder, searching it for answers, but finds only more questions. The Dark Knight takes his search beneath the streets and into the sewers to seek out Killer Croc. But when he finds the reptilian rogue, he quickly realizes this may be the strangest case of his career. I'm not into this book. I just read it because Stumbling Jedi is a good dude and he talks my ear off about it, and the art in it is beautiful. Otherwise, I mean, there's a lot of people that are into it. It's just not my cup of tea when it comes to Batman. But it's definitely it is worth checking out. I mean, it is.
Is the art like that in the
The
book?
art is very like stylistic. It's very, very good art, but
Because
I'm
that
just
looks
not, like,
amazing.
some of the issues, like issue 1 and 2, and even 3 for that matter, you have to reread 2 or 3 times to fully grasp everything that's going on. So it's like in a Wednesday when I go to my comic book shop and I'm picking up a stack like this of books, I'm like, I'm reading through things. I was like, I don't really have time between now and then to reread everything. So, but the art in it is beautiful. The story is kind of, I mean, if you're looking for a different Batman take, I would definitely say check it out, give it a read. But it's definitely worth it for the art alone and the expressionism in the art and how he draws Batman in different situations and things like that.
So is it kind of cerebral? Is that why you're saying it's you have to read it 2 or 3 times?
It's just a lot. Yeah, cerebral might be a good way to put it. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. Like you miss stuff, or like you need to reread it because you misinterpreted it, or like there's just a lot to it.
Interesting.
But go ahead, next one, X. Number 4, 10 Years to Death. This is an Aftershock one-shot. Newly hired prison guard, a notorious mass murderer, finally incarcerated for his crimes and the death that binds them together, what happens when the murderer becomes the murdered. This is actually based on a true story, and it was a really good read. Lots of excitement in it. I was kind of at the edge of my seat reading it, wanting to know what happened next. So I had it at number 4 this week. It's an Aftershock one shot. You can pick it up at your local comic book shop, or find it online or wherever you get Aftershock books. But yeah, it was definitely a good read. Number 3, this is when I was talking about Inferno. Promises were made and broken. The rules of Krakoa have been playing a dangerous game with a dangerous woman, and they're about to see how badly that can burn them as one woman follows through on her promise to burn the nation of Krakoa to the ground.
She looks a lot
Check
like
out the
Mystique.
first issue of Inferno. I don't want to get too much into it because it's a very good read, and it's a lot of spoilers to talk about it. But if you're liking some of the other X-Men stuff, the Trial of Magneto, definitely check out Inferno.
Okay, so this is Mystique then.
That is Mystique, yes.
Okay, I was thinking it was like a totally different comic run. I'm like, dang, they definitely ripped off.
There's
her look.
actually, so what I've been doing, like I said before for my daughter, is I've been buying books with strong female characters on the covers, so that way if she gets in the comics, then we can do the fun part about going back and trying to find the rest of the runs. And like this book here, it was good when I picked it up and read it, but they've got of course, this cover.
Let's stop sharing so we can see that bigger.
Yeah.
So it's the same one I was
cover.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is there an alternate cover?
They also have a really nice Emma Frost cover. So I had to get both of those for her collection.
Nice.
So the one I'm seeing has a bunch of dead X-Men on the floor.
Yeah, that's the A cover. That's the A cover.
Okay.
So that's definitely worth checking out. Go ahead and here's where we get into the good stuff. Robin. If you're not reading Robin is probably hands down next to Nightwing. Hands down the best stuff at DC right now. And in Robin, let the tournament begin. The most ruthless fighters in the DCU compete to the ultimate prize, eternal life. To win his first round, Damian Wayne faces 2 times the danger and 2 times the trouble. So this is basically DC's version of Mortal Kombat, man. Damian goes to this Lazarus Island to compete in this Lazarus tournament to win eternal life, but he's kind of suspicious of what's going on and trying to figure it all out. So he's got to enter this tournament where it's a fight to the death. The first issue, he gets killed right away. So someone rips his heart out, and then he gets brought back to life, and you can only die 3 times. And this issue, the tournament finally kicks off, and he just destroys his first 2 opponents in no time in very Damian Wayne fashion. So it is a very good book if you're looking for a Damian Wayne solo series. If you like him as Robin, this is a book for you to check out. It's one of my highly recommended. Like I said, right now, this and Nightwing are 2 of the best books coming out of DC every month. So if you're not reading Nightwing, get on that. If you're not reading Robin, get on that. Go ahead to the next one. Amazing Spider-Man 875, Legacy 74, regular numbering. It is the end of an era as Nick Spencer is leaving Spider-Man and turning it over to a new creative team. What a great finish to Nick Spencer's time on The Amazing Spider-Man. I love this. They finally made the 2 most hated storylines in the history of Spider-Man, One More Day and Sins Past, finally makes sense. So this made Mephisto play the long game. If you know anything about Amazing Spider-Man, you should know, Lance, since you know Amazing Spider-Man. Sins Past is the storyline where Peter Parker thought that Gwen Stacy had a secret love child with Norman Osborn, which produced 2 kids. Come to find out in this story, Nick Spencer's kind of retconned that to where it was a clone or an AI version of the evil Harry that created a clone, and they degenerate quickly. And Mephisto has always had this big vision of
Mephisto,
quote unquote, on Inferno. It's when he's going to rise up to take over the world, and there's going to be one person that stands in front of him. And this entire time, he's letting you think that it's Peter Parker that's going to stand up in front of him. And the way they retcon since past, like I said, is they made it to where those twins weren't actually real. They were the failed clones, and they continuously deteriorate. So he kind of took them over and possessed them and stopped them from deteriorating to use them to make them kindred. So they were the kindred in this, and then they retconned one more day by making it to where the reason Mephisto made that deal with Peter Parker to take his marriage from Mary Jane, to take the relationship from Mary Jane, because it's not actually Peter Parker that's destined to stop him. It's his daughter, Mayday Parker, that's destined to stop him. So he plays that long game and takes their marriage to where that way she can never be born. So the one who's supposed to stop him can never come into existence. So he took two of the most hated storylines and gave them more continuity and flushed them out so much better, to where I was so happy when I finished this issue. I can't talk enough about how good this issue is. It is an oversized issue, and we're getting ready. It's the end of his run. We're getting into a new creative team, and we're about to see the return of Peter Parker's clone, Ben Reilly. So
why is One More Day so hated? Because I actually like that one.
They took the relationship of Mary Jane and Peter and wiped it away, and it was kind of like all to save Aunt May's life. So it's kind of like they undid everything, and everyone kind of grew to that relationship of Mary Jane and Peter, and they just wipe it away. So
I guess I could see that. Just
Comic
for Aunt
stick
May,
boy.
who's like old.
Yeah, Mayday to Mephisto. I'm inevitable. That's right. So Kyle making fun of Lance. Hashtag Venom. Hashtag Sony just don't get how Spider-Man works. It's a real shame.
I don't see why he's taking. Like,
he's just making fun of you, dude.
Do you two agree with me on that?
What?
Does Sony understand how the Spider-Verse works?
So is it time to get into our review of?
Yeah, because Kyle sure seems to think that. I've been reading Spider-Man comics since I was 7 years old, dude. Like, it's the one character I know. He's just a fucktard. That's it.
He's not a fucktard. He's just busting balls. But yeah, let's go. There's your top 5 comics of the week. I can't stress enough to check out if you haven't read the Kindred stuff, go back and read it. Nick Spencer was doing good stuff on Amazing Spider-Man. So Kyle says, "Oh, it's on." You just stepped in something, dude. Like you just opened up a can of worms you don't want to open up.
Yeah, the chat's about to get lit.
Yep.
Kyle knows I love him.
No, Venom is the last thing, Stick Boy. So if you're gonna take off, we appreciate you being here, man. As always.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin it for you.
We don't want to ruin it for you, but yeah, Venom is our last thing.
Brief spoiler-free impressions. I'll tell you this: I went in with low expectations, and they still weren't met. Like, I didn't like it. I walked out of the movie and I told Lance, "Oh yeah, 3 out of 5, I think is what I'd give it." No, that's too high of a score. The more I think about it, I just did not like this movie. Like,
thanks, Stick Boy. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, have a good night, man. Thanks for joining in the chat.
Catch us on the replay after you watch Venom tomorrow, and let me know what you let us know in the comments what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you like it. I want people to be entertained. You know, I just so Lance was leaning over to me partway through the movie, and I don't like to talk during movies, so I just agreed with him. But he leaned over to me. He's like, "Yeah, this is a little better than the last one, right?" And I was literally thinking before then, this is worse than the original. Like, I
hated the original. Like, I don't hate the original. Worse. I just don't see how anything can be worse than, like, I chuckled more in this one. Like, that's the only redeeming quality that this had. Is the last one I thought was just downright stupid. Like, but this one, the humor was a little bit better, and you could actually understand Eddie Brock when he spoke. That's what I hated about the first one. It sounded like he was mumbling the entire movie. So it's things like that make it better. Like, you can actually watch it and understand what's going on, but it's still stupid.
Yeah, I never had that issue, but I know you do have some bad hearing from being in so many rock bands. I'm not even trying to make fun of you. Like, that's legit.
No, but I mean, Tom Hardy, like, that's not a unique perspective I have on Tom Hardy. Like, he
mumbles.
Like, they had to dub his Bane
Patrick, I was afraid of what happened after you leaned over.
Yeah, man, you got to choose your
He
words
did touch
carefully.
me.
Show us on the doll where he touched you. Yeah, I mean, Bane, he had to redub all of his lines because nobody understood what the hell he was saying.
And I'm like the
but he
weird
spoke
one that
pretty fast.
I was bummed when they redubbed. I thought he sounded so cool in the original trailer, but admittedly, he was hard to understand.
Before we get in, and Kyle says, "Just don't be a fucktard." Yeah, you opened it now. Before we get into this, like any more into this, I want to hear it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Max, but I want to hear what your gripe with Sony and the Spider Universe is, so we have some groundwork to work off of here, Lance.
I think my biggest issue is that the fact that they're going about these characters and putting them in a world where Spider-Man doesn't exist, when their whole existence revolves around Spider-Man. Like, I understand, and we're in spoilers right now, right? So I can say it.
Mm-hmm.
The end credit scenes is trying to redeem that with this movie, right? Because of Spider-Man appearing in the end credits. But they've already ruined the Venom backstory to where now it just doesn't seem like, I don't know how they're going to make sense. Like, Venom and Spider-Man are supposed to be mortal enemies, right? And it's not till Venom is much older, like we saw like in the Absolute Carnage storylines and stuff, where he's like dying of cancer and stuff, that they're more on equal playing field, right? They're more equal to each other, but they're supposed to be enemies to each other. Eddie Brock is a good guy that wants to do good things. Explain to me, but other than jealousy, what beef these two people could have.
Is he though? Is he? Because I can make an argument. I kind of beg to differ. I think in this, Venom is the guy that wants to be good, and Eddie Brock is kind of the piece of shit.
I don't see that, because Venom just wants to eat everybody, and Eddie Brock's is like, no.
No, that's not true.
Like, I think Eddie Brock has questionable moral character, but I don't think he's evil.
I don't think he's evil either. But like when Venom goes off on his own, he basically just goes to a party and doesn't need anybody. He's just like nice.
Which,
He's just
but he's going through a trail of dead people. Like, he's just killing people as he's going. Like, he's just leaving bodies.
Well, because he needs that host. He's got to have that host. But which makes, back to that point though, I kind of feel like Andy Serkis directed this, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like he just got done watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Youth. That scene, like, goes to that giant party and they got the people singing, and Venom grabs the mic and you hear man, I love these costumes. I love this place. You know,
it did give off those vibes. So the Vanilla Ice
I
scene.
didn't realize that until you're saying that right now.
Oh man.
So, some of the lines in this were so some of the things that they said in this were just so played out. Like, you've heard, I would say 80% of the lines in this movie you've heard from other movies with slight variations. Like, but for the most part, none of it was original. And how they treated Cletus Cassidy, like, and this is not a knock on Woody Harrelson. Like, I think he did the best with what he was given. But do either of you feel like he just died a little bit too easily? Like, it was just so.
Why did you put Kyle in timeout?
I did it as a joke, but I forgot that I can't undo it. So now he's blocked for 5 minutes.
Oh my god!
Sorry, Kyle.
Oh my gosh, dude! Why'd you block him? Is he going?
He's just making fun of us in the chat.
Yeah. Carnage is like one of the coolest villains like ever, and they tried. They just made it so cheap, dude. Like, I don't know. I wanted this movie to be good. I wanted it so badly to be good, and it's just, I don't know.
So I think that Woody Harrelson did a fantastic job as Carnage in this movie, and I think he's kind of the only redeeming quality in this movie is his portrayal of Carnage. And I like the way Carnage looked.
Carnage looked awesome.
This movie is all over the place from start to finish. There's no real plot. There's no real, like, they cover Cassidy's backstory very briefly through animation. It's a weird opening with Shriek and her whole backstory and kind of what they're doing with her and the whole like, you know, relationship between Eddie and Venom and
Yeah,
how Eddie's basically standing around, you know, stumbling around the city like a drunk and he's sweaty all the time. And, you know, there was no real, your biggest issue with Cassidy and Brock is like, they set it up like there's something there previously, but the biggest issue he has with wanting Eddie dead in this is because Eddie figured out a secret before he could spill it, or Venom figured it out. Like,
it's very
okay,
uninspired.
that's a very stupid reason to hate somebody or want them to dead, you know. And the after credit scene, and that's why I kind of wanted to ask you where your thought was, is because I was always like, yes, you can't have Venom. Like you can do Morbius without Spider-Man. You can do Kraven the Hunter without Spider-Man. The one character that Spider-Man kind of really is the cornerstone for is Venom. But I think the after credit scene changes that. Because if you've been following the comics, which I know you guys aren't as closely as I do, Donny Cates just did a run where they had the symbiote god Null, and you found out about the symbiote hive mind. And in this after credit scene, Venom mentions the symbiote hive mind. Let me connect you to the symbiote hive mind. But you got to pay attention to his wording, because he allows you to think that the symbiote hive mind can be connected through the multiverse. So this could be a different version of Venom than what you're used to. So when he licks the screen and says this guy, you kind of get that feeling where Topher Grace a few weeks ago was joking about his Venom being in Spider-Man No Way Home. How much of a joke was that? Because maybe that version of Venom remembers being attached to Spider-Man and has uploaded that information to the hive mind. And when Eddie and Venom access it, it allows them to slide through the multiverse, because remember, they're in a different location. It's pretty much the same location, but a different place. You know, and there's somebody already in that room, and things have changed drastically. So now they slid into the Marvel universe. So this version of Venom might not necessarily need Peter Parker's Spider-Man to exist to know who he is, because he can get that information through the hive mind, because when it uploads to the hive mind, it's dispersed through all symbiotes. So they can communicate with each other through the hive mind multiversally. So you got to pay attention really to the wording of what Venom says during the after credit scene when he's explaining it to Eddie to kind of get that.
I guess my issue is that, first of all, I don't know why anybody would want to harken back to the days of Topher Grace as Eddie Brock, but that's beside the fact. I mean, I don't know, man. I think by that point, when the end credits came on, I was just so disappointed. Like, because I know he was going to show him like a whole like centuries of information and all that stuff. And for a second, when it switched, he thought that was it, right? That feeling that he had. But I don't know. I just feel like that is so far a concept that I don't think general audience, like, I have a hard time seeing Marvel going that deep into it.
But they already are, because they're connecting the Raimi universe, they're connecting the Garfield universe all into one now. So they're already going that far. They're going down that rabbit hole.
Do we think then that Venom is going to be in No Way Home? Like, is this Venom going to be in it? It seems like maybe
he might be. I don't know if it's going to be the same. I don't know if it's going to be in No Way Home, but I think it's going to definitely be after. I think Venom 3 will definitely.
My issue is that Kevin Feige came out and said Spider-Man is the only character that can jump universes. I do not think that Disney is going to put Venom in one of their movies.
I think they are, and I think
they
I think
might.
that changed when they wanted to take Spider-Man away from, because I think that Sony always wanted Venom to be part of the MCU, and when they threatened to take Spider-Man away from, I think this is one of the chips that was laid on the table saying we want Venom introduced to the MCU if we're going to renegotiate this contract, and they got that, and that's what the after credit shows you, is that they got that.
See, and I was thinking along those lines, right, Matt? And I think I said that to Max before we went into the movie, that I bet you that there was some bargaining chip, because I knew that there was some from spoilers. The spoilers were a little bit different, but there was something about him watching Spider-Man on the TV. I read that he said, "Oh, I hate that guy," but apparently he says, "I know that guy," or something like that.
No, he just says that guy and licks the screen.
That guy, that's right. But I kept thinking, I was like, okay, if that's a bargaining chip, then Kevin Feige would have some role in this movie. His name's not listed anywhere in the credits. Like he's normally a producer on many of the Marvel properties that come out, right? His name was nowhere on here. I just don't know if Disney would give that much control to Sony to, like, without having any sort of input into this project.
Well, I mean, you just because he's not listed in the movies doesn't mean that he wasn't part of the after credit scene. This movie movie was already filming when they had the issue with Spider-Man.
Dispute.
So they came back to the table, and that's what they got, and they put him in there in the after credit scene. That to me screams that was all part of that deal. Because why else put him in there now?
Yeah, I think there's a chance that he could be in No Way Home. I'm not sure if it's a good idea because it's already kind of overstuffed with villains. But clearly they're going to do some kind of crossover, and it's going to clearly be with the MCU Spider-Man. And I'm really bummed out with, like Lance mentioned earlier, I'm bummed out with how they started this whole thing. I really wish that they would have waited to do anything with Venom until Spider-Man could have been involved in that origin story. I think that would have been better. And I think that's what made this story less exciting for me. Like, I know I'm way less familiar with Spider-Man than you, but like one of the stories that I like is the Maximum Carnage storyline. So where the idea of Venom and Spider-Man teaming up to take down Carnage. And I guess that could still happen. Like, yeah, Venom ate him and Cletus Cassidy died, but there's ways they can get around that. Like,
well, they're already moving on because they're going to move on to Toxin. Toxin's going to be the new symbiote in the third movie.
Is that confirmed?
The cop, well, that's who the cop is in the comic book. He becomes Toxin.
When his eyes
opens his eyes, and his eyes are blue. He's obtained some of the Carnage symbiote, and
did you see a scene where he got exposed to it? Like, I saw the scene where Carnage's tentacle was wrapped around him, right? Or tendril or whatever they call it, but I didn't see anything where he actually picked up the symbiote.
No, there's so much left out of that movie. Where the hell did Anne's fiance come to automatically appear at the top of the fucking church to pour gasoline on the dude? You know,
there were many plot holes in this.
And Shriek can just run away and be like, "Hold that thought. Let me go save Carnage before I come back to kill you."
Or the fact that Eddie Brock is supposed to be broke and he lives in this shithole apartment and he gets a $3,000 TV thrown out the window and he's able to go buy one the next day.
Well, it's because he's made bank now that he broke.
He's rich then.
Cassidy story.
No, I'm just being facetious, but it's
there's a lot.
Also, can we talk about how much of a dick move it was for her to invite Eddie out to dinner to say, "Hey, just so you know, I'm getting married to somebody else, even though I know you're still in love with me." That could have been a text.
Or then can you at least say you're happy? Can you at least say you're happy for me?
It's a power move, man. That's a power move. She's
a bitch.
A response from him. You know, and
it's messed up.
Power move.
The only thing I could think of was that she really doesn't want to marry this Dan guy. She loves Eddie Brock, and she's just trying to get a reaction out of Eddie. And then did they completely ignore the fact that in the first movie, the whole reason Tom Hardy has to keep Venom is because he's dying?
I don't
Pretty
think they
much.
said that in the first movie.
Yes, they did.
No, I don't
He
think
was
they did.
dying. His whole body was cancerous. That was in the first movie.
I don't think it was.
I just
And
like
then
that part
Venom-
where he's like, "I'm gonna break you. Hey, I broke your nose. Let me fix it so I can break it again." And you just
They talk about that pretty extensively with Eddie Brock is dying in the first movie. And then in this movie, Venom just leaves and Eddie Brock is fine. Like I didn't understand that.
Well,
Like
and
he
that's-
had to have the Venom symbiote to live.
and being someone who knows so much about the Spider-Man comics, like you know that's one of the storylines. Eddie Brock gets cancer, Venom leaves him and goes to Matt Grogan, the Scorpion, for a while, and
Yeah.
Scorpion becomes Venom for a good period of time. So,
But isn't Eddie Brock still have cancer?
I would assume in the movies, but
Like he doesn't heal when that happens because Venom goes to several people after. I mean, that's the whole Absolute Carnage storyline is and I'm trying to remember correctly. Carnage is going to kill everybody that's ever had a symbiote in them. Right?
that's in the in the newer Donny Cates one. He's trying to get all the codexes from him, because
so he's killing everybody that's ever had a symbiote in them
to obtain the codex.
And so Venom goes through quite a few people, but Eddie Brock still has cancer in that book.
I don't know if I don't know if he's still got cancer in the comics or not. I don't think he does. Because he becomes the new symbiote god at the end of the Donny Cates run. So he absorbs the God damn it. He absorbs powers and then becomes like the symbiote god now. So he's as far as I know, he doesn't have cancer anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just I these are some of my favorite characters. I mean, I bought a Venom shirt. Well, I'm going as Venom for Halloween with my kids because we're all dressing up as comic book villains.
I'm going
as
a
Venom
Stay
shirt.
Puft Marshmallow Man.
That's the way to go right there, Max. I approve.
Yeah, I lost the opportunity to pick my own Halloween costumes when I became a dad. Now I got to dress up as one year I was the freaking fat mouse from Cinderella.
Gus?
Yeah, Gus. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name for the life of me. But Venom, like just Spider-Man in general, but Spider-Man and Venom have been like my favorite characters since I was a kid, ever since the animated series was out. And I don't know. And the Craven movie, like you brought up, like, yeah, Mobius, like, yeah, that could exist without Spider-Man, but we know it doesn't because they have the picture of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in the trailer. But Craven the Hunter, like, I don't want to see a movie without Spider-Man and Craven the Hunter.
Well, sadly, it's going to happen. And they're trying to build their own Spider-Man universe to get ready for when Marvel's done using that character so they can continue to use it up. But you're going to get Spider-Man and Venom. They've already been teasing it, and then Andy Serkis is already pretty much guaranteed. It said it's going to happen. It's just it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it just looks like they're going to use the multiverse to do it. And like I said, you got to pay real close attention to that after credit scene of the wording, and because he's not saying universe, he's saying multiverse. He's explaining it very, very thoroughly. And that's what happens. And they're doing it through the telenovela. Like that whole telenovela thing is a giant metaphor, and then it all he's going to connect to the hive mind, and it all warps him into this, and it's kind of the same look as like Doctor Strange seeing into the future, and all the stuff with the future that they've kind of warped in, and then all of a sudden he's in someone else's room in the same location. Everything's different and nicer, and then that news broadcast comes up because when you look at the papers in the Daily Bugle is a newspaper still, and then the MCU, the Daily Bugle is a very much like InfoWars style show.
Yeah. I love that when he was reading the newspaper and it was the same Daily Bugle logo and everything from the Sam Raimi movies. Did you notice that?
Yep.
Like it looked just like the Sam Raimi movies.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's how they're going to end up explaining it, is that he's aware of Spider-Man because of the Raimi version of Venom already coming in contact with Spider-Man and uploading it to the hive mind. And that's why he's like this guy and starts licking the screen, because he already knows that he contains a power that he craves. And that's the whole thing with Venom in the comics, is that his grudge with Spider-Man is that Spider-Man rejected him. He wants that power back. He thirsts for that power. So he attaches to Eddie Brock because they have a similar hatred for Peter Parker. So he uses Eddie Brock to try to get back to Spider-Man. But that's his whole goal, is to get back to Spider-Man, because that's who he hungers for. That he hungers and thirsts for that power. He wants that power back.
Everything you're saying to me tells me that this should be its own movie, right? That they shouldn't just, slam Venom into. I mean, they didn't learn their mistake from Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi's. They put Venom in there, made him a side character, and that whole movie sucked, right? Like, this whole thing of, because now you have to establish that Eddie Brock doesn't like Peter Parker. Now you have to establish this hive mind stuff, and Venom wants Spider-Man's power. That sounds like its own contained movie. Like, why does Venom have to be this B character? Because it looks like Doc Ock and Green Goblin are going to be the big bads in No Way Home.
Well, maybe Venom's not in No Way Home. We don't know.
Well, yeah,
maybe it's a post-credit scene.
But I think he's going to go after Spider-Man, because that's the whole thing, is that they want you to pay attention to the wording "lethal protector" over and over again.
Yeah, they said it quite a few times.
And even at the end of the movie, Venom says, "Where do we go now, Eddie?" And he says, "Wherever they need a lethal protector." So now Spider-Man looks like the bad guy because he murdered somebody. So they're going to go
Venom
after
thinks
him.
He's the good guy.
Exactly. Venom's going to go after him because he's the lethal protector. He's going to go and do what needs to be done. So he's going to go after Spider-Man. So I just think that Sony is setting up for post-Marvel Spider-Man. And I think that's what we're going to get, is we're going to get them together. That is in a Spider-Man post-Marvel movie. I think it's going to be in a Spider-Man 4 that has nothing to do with his situation in Marvel. But we won't know. We'll find out December 17th when No Way Home comes out.
It just makes me really nervous that, so, like, I love the Spider-Man Marvel stuff that's going on, like with Disney and everything. And I just worry they're going to fuck it up. Like, I just worry Sony's just going to bulldoze their way in there and just fuck it up. I think that's what scares me.
I think with the way that they've come out and said that the trailer is cut to be misleading, I don't think we're going to get... I'm starting to think that it's not these guys coming into the Marvel universe. I think it's going to be more so Peter sliding through multiverses, because I think that's because if you've seen the toy, he's got that black suit with like the Doctor Strange mystical powers on it. And I think it's going to be in that scene where he's in the cafeteria and he like takes his mask off and starts running. I think that's going to be more so of like him sliding through different multiverses versus those characters coming into his. So
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but why? So would he be sliding through because the spell that Doctor Strange was doing like thrust him through the multiverse, or is he sliding through because he's trying to find someone, or he's running from someone?
I guess that we're gonna have to watch, because it's already a very vastly different plot than the Spider-Verse story arc in the comics. So who knows? But I think that if this proves anything, the multiverse is here. It's going to be here for the next phase of Marvel. 10 years, give or take, and it's going to be it's a wait and see. Like, if they're saying
Apple
that
buys Sony,
they're talking about the Illuminati. We're going to get the appearance of the Illuminati and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and like that's where you're getting all those Xavier leaks from.
Yeah, which I was supposed to. I went through here and I cleaned this all up, and I forgot to put those slides in.
It's all good, dude.
But I've heard that there's a slight possibility that Tobey Maguire might be in Doctor Strange.
Well, it would make sense, and Sam Raimi directed those movies.
Yeah. Well, no, it makes total sense. I just be interesting to see how Spider-Man leads into Doctor Strange.
Well, I mean, it's obvious that you've seen most people probably seen them, the leaks that are out where you've got the Doctor Strange or not Doctor Strange, but Doctor Octopus and Electro all in those prison cells.
Canister things. Yeah. The prison cells. The
So it's something to do with the multiverse, and there's a lot of leaks. You can find leaks out there, and it's the same person, like the same person that leaked the after credit scene for Venom, which has been out on the internet for weeks. It's the same guy that's leaking this Doctor Strange and
Spider-Man
stuff.
It?
Yeah, Xavier
Spider-Man
stuff and Multiverse of Madness. That's why I kind of feel like it's true, and the Illuminati stuff, and there's just so much out there that you can find out if you want to go look for it. It's just a matter of, like Max, do you want to be like Max here doesn't want spoilers, but do you want?
I just want to enjoy it.
Twitter.
Yeah,
I just want to enjoy the movies.
I want to know.
I don't mind rumors.
That I can.
I like it. I like it when they're phrased as rumors, because then if it turns out true, I'm like, cool, that rumor was true. When you call it leaks, then I'm like, well, crap, there's actually a good chance this is real, and it kind of spoils it.
Well, that's just on you, dude. You just need if it's a leak, like everything's called a leak, but there's been leaks that are just rumors. So just think of all leaks as rumors, and then you're fine.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so I
like,
want to say a couple positives before we wrap up. I still think Venom looks awesome. I thought Carnage looked really awesome. I think Woody Harrelson did a pretty good job. And what was the other positive? I thought it was quite funny. In fact, I thought it was funnier than the first one. I just thought that overall, like, it was kind of a negative that it was funny. Like, there were times where I'm like, can we get serious for a minute? Like Venom's like this crazy alien who likes to eat people. We're telling a lot of jokes, and I think part of that is that the movie was really short. I don't mind 90-minute movies, but this was one where I was like, holy crap, we're already in the third act. It just went too fast. But I don't know, I liked a few things about it. I thought the action was pretty good. I just wished that I would have seen Carnage like ripping people in half. I wanted to see blood and guts and
I wanted to see that King Shark moment, when he rips that guy in two. Like,
well, when he did that like tornado thing, I would have liked to see a bunch of like prisoners sucked up into it and he just ripping them to shreds. Like
that's my biggest gripe with the movie. It's not rated R. Every
time they had that moment, they turned away from it. When he takes the dude's head off, cuts it away. So anytime someone's gonna get torn up, anytime someone's gonna be beheaded, anytime it's gonna go gory, they
did a good job of showing that Cletus Cassidy is freaking psycho and violent.
I don't think they did though. I really don't think.
I don't think they did. They told you stuff he did before, but everything he did was what psychotic was when he was Carnage. Like, he never really did anything that was psychotic when he was just Cletus. Yeah. Like, the only thing he really did that was psychotic was bite Eddie Brock's hand.
He bit Eddie, and then the guy at the gas station, he was himself for that. But I get
all he did was beat him up. He didn't kill him or
he stomped his head in. I think it's implied that he killed him.
Oh,
I kind of took it that he.
They needed to do a better job of showing it instead of implying it.
I agree with you. This movie should have been rated R. It would have been a million times better. But the reason I think that this is better than the first, which isn't in any way trying to say that this is a good movie.
Praise.
I'm not trying to say that. Is there's a couple of things. So a big gripe, because we talked about the first one on Couch Crunchers, and the big gripe that we all had, I didn't have it as much as everybody else, but I can see their point, was the two big bads fighting. You couldn't tell who was who. Like, it was just one big mess of gray, right? Like, there was none of that.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, here you can actually tell what's going
clear.
on.
Yeah.
Right, it's clear. There's red, black, you can tell what's going on. The other thing is, I didn't really like the bad guy in the first one, and Woody Harrelson does a better job, but it's Woody Harrelson. Like, he's going to do the best with what he's given. Like, I don't think there was substance there for him to work with, but he did the best with what he was given. The second thing is the humor was a little bit better, and it didn't, I don't know. There was one part I really hated was when Venom takes over the convenience store lady, and the face, like it just the eyes and the mouth. Yeah, just the eyes and the mouth came through. Like, I'm like, why didn't you just turn her head into Venom? Like, it just seemed kind of like
they did that in the first movie though too.
Did they? I don't even remember that.
When Eddie Brock goes to fucking tell his neighbor to turn his music down, his neighbor gives him shit, and Venom comes out of him, and you see his eyes and mouth change, but that's it.
Yeah, it just kind of looks ghoulish, like it should be in The Conjuring or something. Like, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of cheap explosions, cheap humor, cheap gags from start to finish. Like, there was nothing.
It feels like to me that they took full advantage of every single delay to go back and re-edit this movie and cut more out and cut more out and cut more out and cut more out, because it seems like there's a lot of times where things don't play out before they're switching to the next plot point. Like, it's just I think there's a lot of missed opportunities all throughout this movie.
It was way too rushed.
Yeah, and like that's another thing. So Anne wore the suit twice. She wore it in the first movie and she wore it in this movie. How come it didn't kill her?
Also, every time she wears it, we got like a female form Venom, but when he possessed other females, he was still just like big boy Venom.
I just think I don't think he's in her long enough for it to deplete her.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
might be.
She was able to go like get Venom from Mrs. Chang, go to the police station, go through metal detectors and all that stuff, because that's what you do in police stations, right? Go to the holding area, grab Eddie, bust through a wall, jump on roofs, and do all these things, and still have an argument with Eddie about Eddie apologizing. Like, it seemed rather long. Like, it didn't seem short. You know, like there was a whole rescue mission. He overtook some lady at a club, gave a speech on stage, and then had to say, "Oh, I gotta go," and went in the hallway, and the lady died. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just want to wipe this entire movie from my conscience. Like,
there's a lot wrong with this movie.
Yeah. Which I had hoped Andy Serkis, like I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like the motion capture stuff and everything else. I was like, maybe Andy Serkis can do a good job. But
special effects were good. Yeah, and that all looked good.
See, I thought Venom looked wonky at times. Like, he looks very, very wonky at times. Like, it's like just bad special effects.
Oh yeah, they're nowhere near like I'm way excited for Dune, because Dune looks like it's going to be amazing special effects. This is nowhere near that. This is nowhere near any Marvel movie that we saw, like, as far as special effects are concerned. Like, the tendrils look like, have you guys ever seen basketball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, when they drop their shorts and you have that the backside of the large dong like hitting the floor. That's what the tendrils look like. Oh, it's one of the funniest parts of that movie.
Lance remembers it because the dongs involved.
Oh, I watched basketball probably more times than I should admit, but that's what it reminded me. Or in The Boys, the long penis guy. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Venom and Carnage's like tendril things look like.
And you guys really remember penises? I don't even know what you're talking about. And
They're always put in the movies for like
for Lance's pleasure,
comedic effect. Yeah. I don't know.
For Lance's pleasure.
I did not like the part where they were like, he says, "We are Carnage," and it gets real loud. It felt kind of cheap. Like, I understand the effect they were going for, but it felt cheap. everything. in
We
this movie
are
felt
Carnage. Dun 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 dun.
cheap. What did I say earlier? We are garbage, or let there be garbage.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever watch this movie again. I'll probably just watch the end credit scene. Wait till it's on YouTube, so I can dissect that and forget the rest of it.
But
I don't know.
I think we've beat this movie to death, boys.
Yeah.
I think so. Let's call
Let's
it.
call it a
was,
podcast.
It went from, well, we don't have to talk very long about this to
Yeah, we
almost a
talked way
half
too
hour
long.
on it. Yeah. So
I've noticed that when I'm like angry at things, I talk about it a lot more. Like I rarely get online and post something like immediately after seeing a movie, unless it's like really bad.
until you're
I'm not like Sam that posts something after.
Fucktards.
I sent him a message. I didn't mean anything by it.
You heard his feels.
Follow
You heard
up
his
with him and
feelers.
apologize for me putting him in timeout. I was just
Yeah,
trying to be
you
funny.
heard his feelers, and then Max put him in timeout. You guys are dicks.
Hey, he's never gonna come cover us on the show ever again.
You give a man a little bit of power, and he fucking takes a mile, huh? Give a man some admin rights, and he just fucking takes over the world, huh?
Dude, I'm liking this. I was the host on Couch Crunchers. I'm liking that I can just, all those powers are taken away from me, and I couldn't be happier.
It's funny because you took the powers. I was hosting the show, and then one day Lance was like, "No, I'm going to now," and I was just like, "Oh, I guess I'm not doing it."
Well, we'll get into that later. You know what?
Whatever you say, vaudevillain over there, twisting your mustache.
I'm growing it out.
Yeah.
All right.
About the special wax and everything. You
Well,
can tell
is that
people
a
to follow
cast,
us on
boys?
social.
But yeah, I want to say thanks to everyone sitting in the chat tonight. Thanks to Kyle. Thanks to Patrick. Thanks to Stick Boy. Thanks to Stumbling Jedi. Thanks to Aaron. Thanks to everyone who stopped in the chat tonight. You guys are fantastic as always. We greatly appreciate your support each and every week. If you're listening to this on the playback, make sure to leave us a comment or a review. Let us know if you disagreed with our opinion of Venom, if you agreed. Let us know what's on your mind. Let me know if you're reading some other books that I should check out, or you disagree with my top 5, whatever you want. If this is your first time finding us on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on the playback and you haven't subscribed on the YouTube yet, please make sure to go to youtube.com/Absolute Geek Podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 1,000 subs on the YouTube channel by the end of the year. That'd be an amazing, amazing Christmas/New Year's gift, is to see that 1,000 sub mark hit. If you guys are on social media, Facebook, make sure to like and subscribe to us there. Join the conversation. Let us know what's on your mind. Let us know what you think about the upcoming Marvel movies and everything geeky. Twitter, you can find us at A Geek Podcast. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, whatnot, all of your social platforms, and on anywhere podcasts are provided. So for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast, I'm Matt.
I'm Lance.
And I'm Max.
And we'll see you guys next time.
All you freaks and geeks,
Come all you freaks and geeks. Let's listen to Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek,
We'll go ahead and spread our cheeks
spread the cheese,
and drink
And
some
we're for
Cosby
Absolute-
wine.
we'll
Come on,
drink
you
some
Absolute
Cosby wine. It makes me feel real fine. See you next time on the Absolute Geek.